basically, is the gist of the question. So, like, what casualty would look like is, hmm, well, it's kind of difficult because, like, with artifact tokens, you end up with a lot of kind of junky artifacts. Yeah, Julia, the gist of it would be like casualty treasure. Um, but like, you're kind of kicking it there, but you're, I guess, casualty or monstrous or kicker. Although kicker's a little bit lame, where casualty. One of the things that's cool about casualty is it makes copies that are like distinct things. Um, and I think one of the most iconic things about casualty is like the Obnixilis with casualty that like it's a variable because variables are cool. Um, that may be among the dweebier things that I say is like variables are cool. Uh, let's see here.
Moxtober is a time to pick what's cool and play.
Let's see. What would uh, okay, I have an idea for this. It's kind of weird because it's drifting a little conceptually from gold, but uh hold on. I don't need to do any things.
For those just tuning in on my stream, I'm just sharing out to the socials.
I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to do this that. So I was thinking about like, oh gosh, I'm getting so much spam today. I got to delete a message. Yeah, that was a very courteous spam bot. Wobbles, I'm unsure what you were trying to specify with you wouldn't need to allow the sacrifice of token artifacts. The question for me is like, how do you make it so that sometimes you want to sacrifice real artifacts and sometimes you want to sacrifice tokens? I guess like the existence of real artifacts kind of necessitates a willingness to sacrifice them. Um,
Maybe gold
Although I also
tokens.
think that like disposable artifacts, like those, those ones like from the second Mirrodin set where they like had charge counters that slowly like clunkered down to nothing. I feel like those, like Tumble Magnet, I
Discard.
think.
Oh yeah. Tumble Magnet
Yeah.
enters with charge counters. Also with like the Serum Tank one. Yeah, there's a number of them that just have charge counters, and you can just wear them down over time.
Juliet also says Trigons. That sounds right to me. Let's
Oh
find
yeah,
out.
the Trigon of there's like 5 of them.
Uh, yeah. Although those ones you can like recharge. Um, they start with 3 and then gradually they get more or less over time. Like they pump up or chug down. What is the wind down, I guess? Chug down sounds kind of gross.
Wear down.
Yeah, wear down works too. Um, let's see here. Uh,
Okay, I've shared to my socials. Oh my goodness. People be liking it. All right.
Let's see.
So on my end, while Marcus is typing, I'm trying to come up with a creature class type that is for day 24's Reap. And I've already used Peasant, and I'm trying to avoid Peasant, which usually is used for farmers. Or not usually, but when there's a farmer, some of them are peasants.
What about Construct? Because or Scarecrow.
I've used Scarecrow. That's a good one.
Dang.
But not to detract from your what you're working on, your homework.
I mean, I can be distracted constructively in several directions at once, especially when I'm typing like this, because I think I have the concept for gold, although it deviated pretty far from gold in that it's literally involving trash now. But oh well. You can sacrifice gold tokens to this, so.
Yeah.
So the gist of it is recycle is, as you cast this spell, you may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, create a copy of this spell. And then for permanence, copies enter as tokens. And then, so it's a 0/0 for white with recycle, and it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters, where X is the mana value of the recycled spell. Or X +1. +1/+1 counters on it. Or, yeah. So that's
nice.
the gist
I'm
of
going with Spectre. That's very good, especially since in original Eldraine we had a Spectre that was a Reaper.
That makes sense. A lot
of them are actually looking at it. Scythe. There's literally a Scythe Spectre. There's a card named Scythe Spectre. Very good. I'm gonna go with that. Locked it in.
I feel like ever since Hypnotic Spectre, Spectres with scythes has been iconic.
You know what? Yeah. Fell Spectre. My goodness. That's the power of Moxtober now. They're making me notice things I didn't notice before. Hold up. But is Spectre a Kithkin Spectre? I have a Kithkin, by the way. I guess I'm just going to replace Kithkin with Spectre now. I think that's good enough. Spectres don't have classes, so now we're set. So I'm designing a
Do
Spectre.
Spectres not have classes?
Not usually. Yeah, Scryfall search for Spectre.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Well,
I guess it's
now I'm just going to remove
job Spectre.
Oh, yeah.
Is it the race and the class? Is it what it is and what it does?
Yeah, it's specs. Is that what they are? Specs.
That sounds like the the really cheesy joke of any ER verb and then you close it out with I hardly knew her. And the more contrived it is, the funnier it is.
Yeah. Multiplier or no, another one.
No, that one's more sensical. I'm thinking of.
I'm just coming up with words.
Now I'm just thinking of ones that are actually accurate for the goof. You need because the goof is funnier when it's less accurate. Golly.
But that's all right. We can solve other problems than the tangential problem of that you've come up with.
That Juliet says Spectre is like angel. If you seek their nature, it's spirit. If you seek their office, it's angel. So it's I think Juliet's making a case for job there. Thomas Aquinas would argue that spooky ghosties are their job is Spectre.
Well, If you seek their off, that's some extra background that it's a job, but the job overwrites the self. Nice. Yeah, like you can become the essence of like the Grim Reaper can be the Reaper. I don't know.
Yeah, it like becomes
Not
the
to keep
job.
it on scythe wielding people. Guardian angel. You become an angel, but it's also your job.
Yeah, you aren't like a spirit angel, you're just an angel.
Guardian Reaper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, let me overlook all the deaths that are supposed to occur in your life. I got you. Don't worry. You're supposed to experience death in your life.
All those times you're supposed to die.
Yeah.
All several of
Yeah.
them.
A Guardian Reaper overseeing a cat. They have the 9 lives. Yeah. There you go. That's a webcomic right there. The cat with the and then there's like 9 seasons to the webcomic, and people are like waiting for the what's going to happen at the end of the 9th season.
I feel like if it goes on that long, it's inevitable that they get like a Doctor Who style regeneration.
I was just about to mention, so kind of the all Doctor Who thing. Yeah, they did reset the regenerations for Doctor Who. Very nice.
Let's see if this art looks good there. Good enough to me. Jacob Roslowski made a neat little medical robot that is going to be for my Moxtober Gold. All right, now you are on, let me look at the calendar here. Reap, correct? Your audio has cut out for me there.
It has?
Oh, maybe not.
It might be too many seconds / minute quiet.
I thought that, so it was weird because I had your stream open for a second, but I guess it's actually just the latency on your stream doesn't line up with your, like the mouth flaps of the Bradley Rose on the camera there doesn't line up with the IRL Bradley Rose. I should have realized.
Oh, yeah. Are you looking at my stream?
I was looking at your stream there for a second because I was trying to see if I could see the cast of your design, but I suppose actually you need to take the wheel for that to occur.
Yeah. I am just only displaying your screen right now. But
right.
when I have
take
something,
the wheel.
I mean, I could take the wheel.
Yeah, you take the power. Take the power back.
Here's what it looks like when we switch to me. But I figured whenever someone finishes a card, we'll definitely be like, ta-da. But yeah, let's let me show y'all. Let's see, and this is what it looks like. Take over. You have to wait for a second.
It's thinking about it.
And then there you go.
Ta-da.
Let's see what it looks like on your end. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there you go. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I like how for a second it showed my wallpaper.
The Goku just chilling.
Some Dragon Ball.
I think that was probably because you alt-tabbed to look at the Twitch frame, and so it took a second to realize that the Moxtober.
It prompts you like
what
would you like to share, and I guess during that window of time, it's like, hey, what do you? We'll share something. Here is, yeah. Cool.
What is Twitch doing? Its best.
So now that you can see my screen, I guess for those who don't know, I'm designing a lycanthrope every day, and I am trying not to share creature types with any other cards. So if I've used, for example, fish or inkling or gamer for this card, no other card can be that. And they're all double face cards. They all have daybound, nightbound, and the only focus is on trying to bring out the essence of whatever it is that we've determined these creature types to be for the greater structure. Like we've designed a specter, right? So now that we know it's a specter, we're choosing that. So we might go with flying, or some specters don't fly, I think. I'm not sure, but that could be an example. And then whatever's the backside of it, I haven't decided yet, would be.
Have you used Spirit yet?
I haven't done Spirit, I think. I'd have to go through it a bit, but yeah, we could use a Were Spirit. And because we're not using art, I tried to go and help communicate what the heck's going on with these creature types by always using Were something on the. We have a Were Brushwag, everybody. Brushwag alert for you Brushwag fans. Try to say Were something, except for this one. This one's a weird one. This one's already werewolf, but yeah, I don't think I've used Spirit yet. So we could do a Spirit. What does Spirit have to do with Reap? Is it because they're dead already, or what?
Oh, see, I was thinking it has to do with like a specter is like a spooky Grim Reaper, but like usually when they kind of peel the mask off, when they look at like the Grim Reaper as like a perspective character or a character that has a sort of like agency to him, it's usually like a sad sort of vibe. So like a spirit is like kind of sad. If a spirit's like a dead person and like a spirit takes up the mantle of the Grim Reaper, it's kind of sad vibes.
Yeah. In Marcus's chat here, specters in the outfield is funny due to the conversation with specters and angels. But Spectre Avatar can't do that since I've already used Avatar. Illusion I've already used, I believe. Oh, I have not. No, it's Reflection I've used. So I could do Illusion. Spectral Were Spider. Okay, what's the spider part of Reap? Or is it just fun to say? Asking to Juliet in our chat for those who are in my stream. Okay, so I'll continue thinking here. What I'm doing now is I just typed in Reap into all of into Scryfall to see all of the cards in Magic that have Reap in the name, and then I just choose something that might be a cool evolution, aware something of a specter.
You know, Arborea Pegasus has the letters R, E, A, and P in a row on it. So.
I did see that. And it is fly. I mean, it does fly as well because it can do aware Pegasus. So it would look like Spectre Pegasus. Oops, there you go.
Did you say you had done Nightmare already?
I believe if we look at... No, it's Horror. Oh, I've done Horror. I haven't done Nightmare yet.
Okay.
So if you say that Nightmare's...
Reaper.
Yeah, so if you say that Specters maybe reap something, like maybe reap the body, and then now it becomes something that reaps the mind, or reap the soul and then the mind, or something like that.
I was just thinking of it in terms of like specters are these spooky Grim Reaper types, and then if like Daybound is the spooky version of it, couldn't Nightbound be the even more spookier version of it?
Yeah, it could be. Hella spookier.
Even more Nightbounderer.
Like it might have menace and flying. It's harder to block. Or maybe it can't be blocked. Card name can't be blocked. That'd be even spookier. Yeah, let's go with this. I'm going to stop here because part of the challenge of designing live is that when I'm trying to finish all of my designs within a stream, I have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 to do this stream. I try to cap it at like maybe 30 minutes per. So whenever we find something that satisfies the condition, we just like lock it in and move on. So I'm going to go with the Were Nightmare now, and I'm glad we already got the Spectre, so lock that in as well. And now we figure out what does it mean to go from a flying Spectre that probably does the Spectre effect, right? Whenever card name deals combat damage to a player, or does some other way to discard. It could be upon entering the battlefield to cause player discard effect, or it could be my notes. You write notes on the side, like in a little doc that, and then I tend to write in the card. So it could be, or here it's like when card name enters the battlefield, and then discard effect here. Okay, so something like that, and then we can go and do even worse discard or key off of graveyard cards, etc. So even worse discard could be like exile or something like that.
Possibly could have like a tracker for like them having discarded cards or like their graveyard being full of stuff, and so they get in big trouble if, or like the red black escape card from New Theros, the one that like you discard, and if you discard the wrong thing, you're in trouble for it.
Yeah.
Like if you discard lands, then it's like it slaps you upside the head, and it's like no.
Croxa.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Juliet asks, what if debound flying damage discard, nightbound unblockable damage random discard?
Oh, I forgot the random discard. That's a throwback to Hypnotic Spectre.
Yeah.
Oh, random discard. I love that. Yeah. Okay. All
what
right.
about random discard and also a Punisher, just to make it extra cruel? So it's like not only do you not have agency over whether or not you discard the right thing, but also you get punished for discarding the wrong kind of thing.
That could be. We could stack that on there. That is an optional thing. It's like that player discards a card at random. But this could be enough here as well. Let's see.
Yeah, I might be putting a hat on a hat.
Yeah, we do have like 3 abilities here. Yeah, hat on a hat. But sometimes you want a hat on a hat. Maybe it's not. Maybe the first hat is actually just a nice vest, and now you're going to the ball.
Or maybe you're doing like one of those SNL sketches where the challenge is designing 20 hats on top of hats.
Certain type. Okay, so cool. So now we've chosen this route right here. That player discards a card, choosing or whatever the template. I'm gonna look up an actual other Spectre that lets you choose and discard, so that I got the right templating. Let's see here. That player discards a card. Yes, that player discard. Yep, that matches Abyssal Spectre, which Abyssal Spectre is exactly what we're looking for, but with Daybound and a backside. Okay, cool. I think I like pushing for simplicity whenever we can. Like this is already now a unique card in Magic. I don't need to add even more and more. This is good enough, at least for my tastes for this. Yeah. And I think I could just finish this out with like a name and costing and stuff. So I think maybe we can throw it back to you for what you're working on.
Sure. Let me press a series of buttons.
All right. Let me see Juliet in Marcus's chat. I'm gonna read some of this because I'm just catching up here. Spectral Were Sheep, because sheep rhymes with reap. That's perfect. Like any time you can find like some key tying back towards the theme, that's fine to do. Reaps Your Dreams, because sheep count, that's great also. Daybound flying damage discard, nightbound unblockable. Oh, okay. Actually, was that Juliet's suggestion? Oh, I thought that was your suggestion, Marcus.
Oh, so, sorry, I didn't mean to plagiarize that. I thought I had mentioned it was Juliet. But
yeah, thanks for the slam dunk on that. Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, all credit to Juliet.
Oh yeah, let me allow you to share. So now it shows your desktop while we go and hit show on stream. There you go. So now we should see Marcus's.
Perfect. All right, let's see here. So for reaping, I already had back in Straw, I had a card that was kind of like reaping adjacent. It was like a spooky, like very big blue-black artifact, but damage is basically dealt to it as though the things damaging it had wither. So it's not very durable, but it's like a big spooky body. Um, for reap, conceptually, I think of like decimation or in some way this seems associated with like dying. Just it's like such a grim and like kind of morbid word. Like if we go to that Skyfall search again, um not the one with those specters, the one although those guys are all reapers, so like, you know, tomato potato. But if we go to like reap, it's like sack effect, zombie tribal, angel with a pays life ability, morbid trigger, guy with a dies trigger, guy with an enchantment dies trigger, guy with a dies trigger, uh like a lot of kick in the bucket. Hey, another morbid trigger. Hey, Spectre, a card with a sack outlet, Reaper King, which is kind of spooky in and of itself. So like I think of Reap in terms of like it's definitely one of those trying to sound spooky magic words when you hear it in a thing. Would I do a keyword
Mm.
of just the word itself? Um, because this definitely feels like it's in like the exploit or again casualty. Weirdly enough, space. But like, what would you want that to be? Um, does it care about sacrifice specifically? Because like reaping sounds like maybe this is too Hunger Games pilled, but it sounds kind of sacrifice centric to me.
Reap
Um,
what you sow.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
So if you sow food tokens or
I actually
whatever,
literally already have a card with Reaper in its
huh?
name from my earlier
That's
designs.
funny.
Whirlwind Reaper. It's 2 and a blue for a 2/3. Whenever you cast your I forgot a word.
Mm.
Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a seed token. It's an enchantment with X. Sacrifice X seeds. Create an XX elemental. X can't be 0. And elementals you control with 2 or fewer counters on them have flying. Um, so it's sow the wind, reap the whirlwind, like that turn
Mm.
of phrase. Um, so I've kind of like hit on that space a little bit. I feel like a lot of Halloweeny words kind of live in that sort of harvest and reaping space.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely.
let's see
Uh,
here.
there's also, let's see, you know how like red does impulsive draw where it like or also black and or blue or red or whatever does the steal like exile off of an opponent's library or go off of opponent's graveyard, and then you could pay any
Yeah.
color. So what if there's the you set it up with the whatever number of exiled cards, and then you can reap them as a reward after you do, I don't know, some amount. I don't know. Of course, if you're
Interesting.
calling it
Okay.
reap, it sounds like never. It sounds like you would have to pair it with a sow mechanical thing. So it's not quite just. I guess what I'm suggesting is both a sow and a reap instead of just a reap.
Uh, I get where you're coming from, though. It kind of reminds me of, you know, when they experimented with like slow draw in white in Brothers War.
Ooh, I missed Brothers War, so I'll be the student here.
I gotta get rid of artifact creatures in this search, and it might have been Brothers War Commander. Come on, Skyfall, let me type. Okay, cool. Um, uh, what is the set code for Brothers War Commander? I can type BRC apparently. So let's see what this looks like. If I can find it. Maybe it didn't have tab. Oh, there it is. Kayla's music box. So white tap, look at the top card of your library, then exile it face down, and then you can tap it, and then until end of turn, you may play cards you own exiled with Kayla's music box. So you had this kind of like put things on layaway, and then you could
Mm.
give up your card quote unquote drawing for a turn in order to be able to like impulse play the cards that were currently exiled under it.
Yeah.
Uh,
So you wanted to make a keyworded mechanic, right?
yeah, that's like I'm doing a keyword mechanic for everything. So like the idea there would be some form of like layaway effect where it's like something along the lines of like you're putting a thing away for like a period of time and then later on you get it in like a critical window. Like you can use it, maybe use it or lose it, or maybe just like you can use it forever after then.
Mm.
Um, hmm. Hmm. I'm thinking like time counters, but that seems like it'd be kind of a pain to track if you were doing it repeatedly. It'd be very dice factory. Uh, hmm. Because like, what does it look like if you have like an impulse draw that you will get like 5 turns from now or something like that, where you have a lose it or use it of that draw that's coming in the future. So you plan around having a turn where you have to do like a mad dash for stuff.
Um. Uh. Like within the same turn, or are you talking about in general outside of Magic terms or within Magic?
I'm talking about like within Magic. So like, let's say that you had something where it was like, uh, exile such and such card face down with n time counters on it. When the last is removed, you may play that card this turn. Turn it face up and you may cast it this turn. Or you may play it this turn.
And then it has to be exactly that turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Oh
you
yeah,
have like a lead time to it where like you know it's coming.
yeah. It sounds like you're like you're firing an arrow, you're shooting up in the air, and it's gonna land eventually, or things like that. It goes up, and then gravity comes pulls it back down. Things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, a 3, 2, 1. You have a fuse. The fuse goes off at a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah. You throw a boomerang, it comes back, and you have to put your hand out to catch it. Otherwise, it goes back past you. There you go. Some things that take a while to happen, an event that happen, but you have to be ready for that event to happen when it occurs.
Darkoso82 says maybe you need like an emblem, like with vanishing or some sort of variant on suspend. Um, conceptually, I was kind of thinking about that. Like a suspend like thing. It'd be nice to be able to have it be um uh ooh, actually, what if it's like a threshold style thing where when you get to a certain number of these cards in exile, then you can play all of them. Like that turn. So you can plan
Mm.
around the turn that it's happening, but
Mm-hmm.
like you'll end up with a turn where you have like enough of a glut of things that you realistically probably can't cast them all or can't play them all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That reminds me of the spell with Nicol Bolas in the art, you get to get 10 mana of any one color, and you can exile the top 7 or something. You
Yeah.
probably aren't casting a bunch of 1 and 2 mana spells to cast all of them, and some of them maybe lands. But yeah, it's probably like an average of 3 mana or whatever. So you have to use only some of it. Yeah, for sure. So now it becomes a choose what you reap as sort of a theme for this, instead of like here reap as much as you can, or I guess here is what you have reaped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like some of them might be face down, some of them might be face up. So I'm thinking like uh exile it into your, and then there's some like subsection or some term for, or exile it in some fashion that specifies that it is like uh stored away.
Mm.
Because I don't really like the word so when it comes to this, because like it has synonyms
Yeah.
That make it kind of confusing.
So you can invest, you can charge up, you can build up, things like that. Chat, maybe synonyms. Nice, I got some good suggestions from
Stockpile. That's interesting. I like stockpile a fair bit there.
Oh yeah, there is the existing storage counters as well, but that's for lands usually. So I'm on rain right now while Marcus is typing here, and I'm looking up existing rains in Magic, and it's funny how many like Stone Rain is a card, right? But then Rain of Tears is also a destroy land card, and Rain of Rust also destroys land. So it's funny how the word rain has now become associated with land destruction.
Yeah, because like Stone Rain is so iconic.
Besides also some refreshing rain, luminescent rain. Those are okay. So gain life and land destruction. Notion Rain, draw cards, and along with Rain of Revelation. Okay, so drawing cards, gaining life, and destroying lands. I'm going to go in those directions, either one or more of those.
So this is the idea for like a Raging Goblin with sets mechanic. Is it's got haste, and when it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of their library face down into your stockpile. Um, I feel like the does white even get that slow draw anymore, or was that like an experiment that's like passed over? Um,
My current understanding of white's draw is whenever you perform the action, the return should be only one at a time, but it's possible to get more than one card uh, in one turn, as if you are able to perform that action twice in one turn. But that would be more of a nuanced thing. Usually, it would end up being a one time per turn thing, like a tap effect, for example, is a one time per turn. Well, usually a once per turn round thing. But yeah, if you're able to go and trigger the thing, it would be draw a card, and then the next thing that triggers draw a card. That's my current understanding of white's draw capabilities.
I think that sounds reasonable enough. Yeah.
Mm.
It's like, what is the rate on like a creature that taps to draw a card? I guess at rare, like just naturally tapping to draw a card is
Although, of
something that
course, the
you
restriction
can.
on the amount, like that's the amount of cards that you get as the bonus, but the restriction has to be white restrictive. It can't just be whenever this attacks, draw a card. That would be a very blue thing.
Yeah, the idea here is that like you pile up your stockpile,
Mm.
and they're like for white they're face up in the stockpile. Um, so you like know what's coming, and your opponent also knows what's coming, and there's like one turn where it gets to be used. So like you would pile up 5 cards, activating 5 stockpiling effects, and then you'd be able to use them all at once in one critical turn, but or one critical turn cycle. Um, but then it's slow, and it's kind of like foretold, and you're gonna use it or lose it on some of the stuff if you're playing like big expensive things. Um, so yeah, just when there are 5 or more cards in your stockpile, you may play them until the end of your next turn. So you pile up cards in your stockpile, and eventually you reach a point where you um, had enough there that like you've sown enough that now you can reap.
Mm-hmm.
So you've come into things with this like kind of slow progressive plan, and uh, eventually you get all of that equity all at once. But it's kind of constrained. It's not like truly drawing 5 cards at that point. It's like user like impulse drawing 5 cards, but you like know in advance that it's going to happen. So you might sandbag it for a turn if you need to make another land drop to be able to cast like 3 out of 5 instead of 2 out of 5.
That seems like white likes that hard work.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm just looking for arts now if you want to take over on your end for a bit.
Oh, sure. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Okay, share screen. Selecting here. Show on stream. Okay. Okay, so what we got here is I was talking about it while you're working on your card. Rain being associated with the word rain, R-A-I-N, being associated with destroying lands or gaining life or drawing cards. Decided to make. I don't like repeatedly destroying lands, so I figured I'd have the wear side just be only an enters the battlefield, but it exiles a land. It's just a little trinket, worse effect. And then I wanted one side to be you're gaining life, and the other side you draw a card for upon transform trigger. I added in like whenever this enters or transforms for the life or card just to give a little extra besides the destroying. I guess it sort of feels like you're gaining this reward from the destruction that you're causing. Which makes it feel like this is a I've only figured out so far a creature type of noble because of the word R-E-I-G-N. Being it sounds like rain, but it's a different kind of rain. You're a noble that rains. So you could be someone that taxes or something like vicious tax, vicious taxing or non-remorseful monarch or something of sorts. And and depending on what your mood is, or what day or nighttime, I guess whatever your wear version is, I guess you get even more benefit, or you do even worse damage. So what I'm trying to get here is what creature type would go with rain, and for the front side and for the back side. So what's the humanoid creature type, and what's the wear version on the back side? This sort of reads like the effects themselves is like, okay, it's like two separate effects, but they feel like they're kind of, there might be a set themes, that mechanical themes that disappeared in a set. They're like, okay, I like when there's lands that a player owns in the graveyard or exile or something like that, or there may be a keys off of the lifer card, something like that.
For the backside, maybe you could have it be that you can, rather than it being exiling lands, when this, like, you could have that be just the destroyed target land, and then if this entered the battlefield or transformed into this turn, you can play a land card from an opponent's graveyard.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. So they both destroy lands, but you get an even better effect from the backside, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
as long as this entered the battlefield or transformed.
There we go. Yeah,
this turn, I guess,
as
would
long
be the
as
clause.
this creature entered the battlefield or transformed this turn, you may play land cards from opponents' graveyards, from among something like that. I'll look up the templating. Okay, I like that. That's sort of like drawing a card. And we can also, since we're gaining life here on the front, we can get some colors going on here that kind of make it okay. So green is going to be in there. Green likes graveyards and lands. And then the destruction, I guess green still kind of does that as well. So he could potentially be a mono green card. I think it's, I don't know, when's the last time green destroyed lands? Let me see. Destroy target land. And then I'm searching in Scryfall that. And we're going to see the last time we've seen that. Color equals green. Is first print. Commander likes to reprint stuff that's no longer in color by. So you got to see. Oh wow, Avacyn restored. Okay, That's a long time ago. So let's go and add in, like we can do red. There you go. A red-green card.
What's the where side of it going to be, though, creature type wise?
Hey, what's up, Darkoso82? With that in mind, I'm thinking, I guess you've snuck into my stream. I appreciate it. So what they're saying in my stream, I'm thinking like a land baron. That makes kind of sense. Yeah, like baron. You can put that in there. I like that. So yeah, someone who steals land. Yeah, it's like, hey, we need to take your land. Oh shoot. That kind of feels negatively on topic here with current events. That's okay. We can ignore this. Not stealing land, but taxing baron. There you go. Yeah, it's not a steal, but a taxing. Right on the money, part of the pun. The money, Mark. Okay, so so what would this be the where of, just to get that brainstorming going on, of what are these creature types, red and green so far, and these names aren't locked in as well. Okay, when it enters the battlefield, destroy target land. Okay, we can change this as well to kind of match. The backside is what we're working on here. We're getting the template right now for opponents and graveyards. Let me see. I'm searching in Scryfall for the word play. See if we got something here. From graveyards. You may play. I probably should look up cast, and I'll just replace the word with play. Here we go. So Mnemonic Betrayal is a card that appeared in Guilds of Ravnica, and it does use the templating of it says exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards. So we got, and it uses opponents like this, opponents' graveyards. Okay, so that's what I was looking for. You may play land cards from opponents' graveyards. I think we're okay with that then. As long as this creature entered the battlefield or transformed this turn, you may play land cards from opponents' graveyards. Okay. Let me look up to see if Black has destroyed lands recently. I know there's the Modern Horizons. Oh, yeah. You talk about the same one, right?
Yeah, the blow up a land if it taps for colorless or is snow.
Or is snow, yeah. That's like a specific punishment. Yeah, let's just keep it red and green. So I feel like I want to mirror the as long as this creature enter the battlefield or transform this turn, then you get to do something, but something that's different than playing land cards from opponents' graveyards. Have you found an art for your card?
I have found arts for the 2 cards I designed for Reap.
Ah. Shall we
I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Would you like to show that off right now? Yeah, I can show it off. Let's see here. Press some buttons. So Diligent Steward and Goblin Kleptomaniac. Yeah, so they both sow a bunch of cards into your stockpile, and then eventually you get a turn where you get to reap all of them and get the reap the rewards, as it were. Now I'm percolating about what I think rain would be. I want to say that like rain effects, other than like stone rain stuff, have been like there's a lot of like blue flood-like cards.
Mm.
What is the criteria for original? Printings is first printing, not original printing. I can type words sometimes. Yeah, it's like mass unsummon effects are a lot of them. And a lot of bouncing. And a pretty long hiatus between stuff earlier on. It's like flood. What about river? Sonic screwed river. Come to a river again and unsummon effects. Although it's weird because there's the alchemy effect of it. It's a grip tide, but I guess grip tides also would work okay for that. There's also like mana screw and mana flood. So you could have like a, oh, are you flooded mechanic, but that's kind of just kicker unless you like you could spell it out in some sort of way.
Yeah, with the flood counters?
Oh, I was thinking like mana.
Oh, mana flooded.
Like flood. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is like water. What is it? Something on Mars with the flood counters. Yeah. Turns things into islands. Rain is just kind of like water in general. I guess you could do storm or like try and do like a nerfed storm as just rain. I guess what sort of like storm, if you had storm as a fixed number, that still feels like gross and threatening to me. Where it's like, oh, you can only do 5 copies of this grape shot. So if you manage to do that, then you'll be able to blow up like 5 things. I guess that like doesn't seem too insane actually. Doesn't seem like it's going to do anything truly messed up. I suppose I could make a raging river style mechanic where every creature with this ability divided the battlefield into another section. Make things truly unparsable. Rain falls into gutters, rain floods, rain storms, rain I guess you get thunder and lightning from rainstorms.
Yeah. You can. What about hail? Is that a rain or no? Too intense.
I feel like really bad rains do turn into hail
or snow. A drizzle.
Drizzle definitely sounds like a nerfed storm.
Duh.
You could do it in like multiplayer though, where you have drizzle, and it copies equal to the number of players who cast another spell this turn.
There you go. Yeah. Can't go off. So the most you can do in a 1v1, this fixed storm is 2, right? 2 copies.
Yeah.
Cool. Put drizzle on lightning bolt. Now you can get the dreams of lightning bolt.
I actually have that exact thought. Let's see here. Hold on. Does storm go first or second?
So if you set it up right, it will be a shock. But if you're able to have your opponent play something, you do a lightning bolt. Does storm go first or second? You're saying?
Yeah, I guess it goes second.
It says when you at the yeah, usually storm's at the bottom,
Actually,
even though it is a cast.
When you cast this, copy it for each player that cast a spell before it this turn.
Pretty exciting.
So Magical Christmas Land, you can turn this into 9. If you cast a spell, your opponent casts a spell. Yeah. Is 3 mana deal 9? That seems insane, right?
I was thinking pay 1 red mana, deal 1, and then you can do either 2 or 3 damage. But yeah, you might have to scale it up a little more. To assume you can always get at least 1 copy. Assume that you have a random 1 red mana thing to play, a Raging Goblin or a Shock. So cost it as if you're getting 2 copies, but make it an aggressive costing, I guess. So if I were doing 6 damage,
3 mana deal 6.
Yeah, if you want the 3, so deal 6 damage. Divided at
that seems still really strong.
Yeah, so maybe you could tune it down. Maybe you want 2 damage. You can do that. So 2 to 6. Well,
yeah, 2 to 6 here for 3 mana still seems quite strong.
Okay, so maybe you do the 1 damage then. Then the range is 1 to 3.
This can be guaranteed a shock, but then it can be arc lightning if you manage to have your opponent cast a spell and you cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Because arc lightning's like pretty good overall, I think. Because it can Daxies kill a fair few things. Let's see here.
I'll go with that Tarkoso. Thanks for the Were Dragon suggestion. Love that.
What if it's obligated to be different targets? No, that's still probably very good to be able to do 2, 2, and 2. Is there anything that makes this more interesting?
Tarkoso, I like your strategy of whenever you're suggesting something, you go to the whichever one of our stream is that you're applying your comment towards.
That's a winning strategy. You could restrict it by only targeting specific things. It's kind of fiddly though then, because it doesn't like act as a win condition for red, but it does act as like this like wilds value play in that situation. Although, is it too wild? Um, because like if you do it as one in a red, and you do it to any non-player target, let's just future-proof it to the most maximum degree. Um, is this an insane value play? Because then you get 6 damage, and you can split it among several things. But that's like you jump through the hoop and you get a 2-for-1. That doesn't seem too horrible to me. That seems pretty interesting. Where it's like you can probably make this into 4 damage to target creature. Is one in a red instant 4 damage to. Oh, actually, hold on. I have the fix. The fix has been fixed. Now it's significantly harder to get the 6 mode. Because it's a sorcery. So you need your opponent to have cast a spell on your
Oh,
turn.
wow, tricky. Yeah, you sprung my trap. Aha. You probably want to
Yeah.
maybe you attack during combat. Maybe they play something tricksy, and then second main phase you did something even more serious.
Yeah, so like you go into combat, they play a combat trick, you follow up with your, 1 mana already outclassed creature, but then you goozle them with 6 to the dome, or like kill the creature that survived thanks to the combat trick and like 2 other things, or that's spicy, I think.
Mm.
Um let's see. I'm going on an art scavenger hunt at the moment. The number of random bikini ladies on ArtStation is certainly a way for things to be.
Do you have the I don't know, for me I tend to, there's like an auto filter off if you want to turn off AI art.
Oh, hold
And
on.
I feel like not this isn't a like, hey, let's just turn off AI because it's AI. I just feel like maybe a lot of people might use AI art to do bikini ladies.
That sounds entirely too plausible.
Yeah, so that
And
might
I'm just
reduce
imagining like
the
clicking. I imagine clicking into the bikini lady art and seeing truly unsettling numbers of fingers and teeth, as is the way with AI art. Um, I just like the vibe of this art. Let's see. Yeah, that's just a vibe.
Okay, I think I've got. Oh, you're also finishing a card too.
I just finished out with rain, so if you've got
You
your
finished your rain as
concept for
well?
the next day. Yeah.
Oh, I just finished my rain as well. Might be a little aggressively costed, but let me give it a show real quick here.
Take the wheel.
Share screen.
You're the captain now.
I am the captain now. Yeah. Look at me. Share, and then we're gonna go ahead and show on stream. Okay. So we're going off of Darkosa's suggestion. Thank you, Darkosa, for the dragon suggestion. Which also really it did a 2-for-1 here because I needed a front face race type as well. Kobolds revere dragons, so I thought it would be cool to have a kobold noble, which also is great because kobolds need to be. Oh wait, we can make this a 0/1. Yes, thank you. Okay, cool. To make it a kobold stats, So yeah, we have a kobold that turns into a were-dragon, and then the dragon's like the horde. So this is a land hoarding were-dragon. There you go, straightforward name. And so what we have here is a stone rain, of course, for either side. So if you play it, you pay 1 red green, which could be very aggressive, but if it's daytime, you only get a 0/1 and 1 life and a destruction of land. So, but if it's too much, what we can do is do the pay 2 red and green. But if we assume it's nighttime, which means you have to have gone through a little hoop to get to nighttime, we have to cost it accordingly. So we could be paying for being able to get an extra land and a 2/2 flyer for 1 a red and a green, or we pay probably 4 for it is a little more safe. Yeah, I put it at rare here, but maybe we can have an uncommon dragon.
At 1 red green, isn't it kind of functionally 4 because in order to play the land, you have to be on your 4th turn?
Oh yeah, yours true. That's true. You know what? There you go. I like it. Thank you. Thank you for spotting that.
I cut my teeth on Corsair of Krufric, so that's kind of fully George Foreman grilled into my brain wrinkles at this point.
Darkoso says, "Oh yeah, a little angry kobold baron." Yeah. There you go. Okay, got it. This is good enough. Good enough. We put it pretty aggressive at 3 and uncommon, and if there's any adjustments we need to make in play design testing, we can either cost it 4 or rare or whatever it needs to do. Yeah. So the next thing, now I'm going to move on to Enchanted, which is going to be just in line with Marcus here. Moving on next. Okay, so the thinking here with Enchanted, I was like, all right, what do Enchanted have to do with creature types? Which creature types can we do? Wombat, of a few cards of Rabid Wombat fame, the Wombat loves auras, so I thought this would be a great time to do a Were Wombat. And as for the humanoid side, Sirens have this mythos with like being someone that you know they sing and stuff, and then pirates or whoever sailors are drawn towards them, so they feel enchanted. So we're gonna go with the Siren Wombat type of situation here. In Ixalan, you see a lot of Siren humanoid peeps. A lot they fly in Ixalan. We could go with the flying siren, but we don't have to. Not there are some sirens that don't fly in Magic, but yeah, we can keep this one on the ground. Actually, if it turns into a wombat, I imagine it would just, if it already flew when it was a humanoid, it would just drop down to the ground. So that's kind of a weird thing to try to accommodate for. Let's not make it harder on ourselves. Besides doing the whole specter thing of like going from flying to can't be blocked, you'd have to like maybe kind of do a super flying sort of thing with the wombat. So let's just do a siren that doesn't fly. It's sort of mermaidy. Now I'm looking up existing sirens in Magic, and I want to see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so Game Nights. Game Nights has a exclusive. The Game Nights product. Sorry, there's a lot of Game Nights out there, including the hit series Game Nights. But the exclusive product for Game Nights Free for All has a land-based siren, and that's a great. It's called Maeve, Maeve, Insidious Singer. So that's an example of a siren. It does goading, which is great. That's cool. But yeah, we can go off of this, and so we can do something that is on here. It's like some kind of aura-based thing here, and we can also have an aura-based thing here as well. It could be that maybe it encourages you to play auras that mess up your opponent. So it's like whenever, or as long as, something like that. A creature is enchanted with an aura you control, something like that. Bonus, right? And then that could be even worse when it's on the backside here as well. Now the wombats. Let's take a look at the history of there's not too many wombats. There's only like 3 or 2. Let's see. Is type wombat? There is a playtest card that's wombat as well. So actually, there's only one legal one legal wombat. It's rabid wombat, which is counts auras. But the Surgeon General Commander is a wombat bat chameleon that cares about whenever you cast. Let's see. Whenever you enchant a creature, you get to draw a card. So we don't have to get ++ depending on auras. We can just key off of whenever there's enchantments going on, things like that. Let's take a look at chat here. Let's see. Okay, good. Got up on chat.
What do you think that the wombat aura bonus ought be?
I think the bonus with the wombat, since it can be any aura or enchantment type of thing, I think it's very flexible. And what I would do first is figure out how do you make it feel like a siren. And I feel like I want to have a direction where it's like, oh yeah, whenever you can enchant. Ooh. Okay, here, I got an idea here. How about this? When card name enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an aura card. And then I forgot the templating here, but it's going to be like this. And put it onto the battlefield, enchanting a creature an opponent controls. Or target creature or whatever. Target creature an opponent controls. I'm going to have to clean up the notes here so you can see the text. Cool. And if that's true, now we want to maybe have the wombat. Oh, here we go. Now we have something that's interesting. If we want to harken back to the rabid wombat, the rabid wombat gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it. Now, what if this wombat, this were wombat, gets card name gets +2/+2, +2/+2 for each aura attached, or each aura you control attached to creatures. Now it could be, or the most number of auras attached to a creature, or just attached to creatures your opponent's control, or something like that. I feel like that's kind of cool. Like, hey, it references the rabid wombat, but it's kind of the inverse now.
Do you want white in the color identity here then?
We could have white. Now auras can be, it's like when you're trying to do like afflicting others with bad auras. I guess tutoring. You can have black. Black likes to tutor, but this is like a more like lessened tutor. Like it's a more scoped tutor. You could also do. You may search your library or hand. Search your library or hand. You could. We've had effects that search your hand, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, the
like
first
hand graveyard library, like a set.
Yeah. The first doctor says search your library and or graveyard. So if you could search your graveyard.
Yeah, that's definitely occurred at least a few times.
Yeah. So I feel like there's a. And then there would probably be the. If I put in Scryfall and or, I could probably find it. Runeforge Champion, Library Graveyard. We're going to get there. Here we go. We got Ruined Crown. When Ruined Crown enters the battlefield, you may search your library, hand, and or graveyard for a rune card. So we can either do the same thing, get a graveyard thing going on. I think that might be good. Search your library, hand, and or graveyard for an aura card and put it onto the battlefield attached to, okay, not enchanting, attached to target creature and opponent controls. There you go. Okay, so now what's interesting here is that you may be playing the were-wombat. If it's nighttime, it enters as the wombat side here. And you may not be able to get that free aura thing. So I wonder if it's too weird to be like, okay, I'm kind of waiting until it's daytime so I can get the siren beef up. So if we wanted to try to make it feel less bad, you would do something like this whenever this creature, which means you're going to keep getting bigger and bigger wombat, until their creatures die. But that's a good problem to have, right? It's like, oh no, you ran out of creatures. My wombat's smaller. But hey, I guess you have no creatures. Transforms, or whenever this creature, now I'm forgetting the templating. Whenever this creature transforms into, whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into card name, This is already on some existing Magic cards that I have the Daybound, Nightbound. It goes like that. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into card name, let me search your library, hand enter a graveyard for an aura card, put it on the battlefield. Now that's having it go off of the graveyard or hand is even better this way because over time you may find that your auras that you previously attached to other creatures have entered your graveyard now because they died off.
Yeah, so if they have like sack outlets in order to try and shrink your wombat back, it's not like you're going to hit a point where you're out of cards in your deck. And actually, you could intentionally get the ones from the graveyard because then your deck will stay thicker with usable auras that you could naturally draw.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't just end up with like a bunch of lands in your bin.
Okay. I feel like this kind of siren doesn't need a class type, so we're going to leave it like this. This is a lot of text already. If we add another text here to try to key off of the aura thing, I think we're going to take off the reminder and also try to keep it as small as possible. It could be that it's a smaller version of the were-wombat. It could be like card name gets +1/+1 for each. But it feels like if it's just a smaller version of the wombat, I feel like the wombat side is less impactful, so we could just do this.
Yeah, as is, I feel like having only the bonus on the backside gives like both a strong incentive to do some of that Hunt Master flip back and forth, and then also like a real reason to be on the backside.
All right, so let's just give some random stats to this this creature here, and then always, as on principle, whenever there's a wear side, I like the backside. I always make stronger in some way. Usually, is like there had to be a big exception for me to make it smaller. So if I make this like a one, let's start off instead. Let's look at what's Rabid Wombat starting? Is it like 2/2 or 1/1? Let's see, Rabid Wombat.
0/1. Wow.
It starts as a 0/1. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no way. How do I make a smaller? How do I make 0/1 smaller? I can't do 0/0 and -1 0. I mean, I could do -1/1, but this is getting too weird.
Oh, I think you could do the front half 0/1, and then the back half could be the stats of Surgeon General Commander.
Oh, the Surgeon General Command. Look at that. Look at this co-designing here. Surgeon General. Let's do it. Let's see. What is that? 3/3? Okay, wait. All right. Maybe, we could. Okay. All right, I guess we could do that.
I just noticed in the text box of Surgeon General Commander on Scryfall, there's no strike through on General because they're cowards.
In the text box?
like in they have like the gatherer text at the bottom of the like Scryfall.
Oh,
If you go to the
oh,
page,
yes, I see what you mean. You're talking about the text version of the
yeah.
title. There's no strike through. Yes. uh, yeah. Here. I'm gonna share the Scryfall link in my stream for those who want to play along. This is what peeps are talking about, or what? Not peeps, us, Marcus, and I.
I mean, we're peeps, unless
Yeah,
like
we're
you've
peeps.
been
Yeah, yeah,
like six chickens in a trench coat this whole
yeah.
time or
I
something.
guess it's a
In which
go-to.
case,
This is a go-to phrase for it's like whenever I'm talking about a topic that is being discussed, I just say peeps are saying peeps, peeps, peeps. Yeah,
many people are saying it.
many. Let me just take off the reminder text here for this. Wow, that hanging controls there is, damn. If I just press enough spaces. Oh wait, I can't do that. I would have to do it on the one below it here. So using Magic Set Editor, you can kind of trick the templating into what feels good, formatting
Oh, I
wise.
see you. You really dislike having just like loose orphans.
I don't really dislike it. Not super much, but although I think I've noticed Juliet's a champion of not having the a single word hanging here. But here's what I'm going to do. The reason why I was being a little lazy, so in Magic Set Editor, they auto fill in reminder text for you, which is great. But you now can't add spaces at the end of. See how I'm adding a space after daybound, the D in daybound. I'm trying to add a space after. If I move the cursor over, you can see a flashing cursor that's after the parentheses. But if I press space, it actually adds it after the D. So what I'm going to do here is instead is copy the auto reminder text and then take off the auto reminder text, go back and paste the text that I copied from the auto, and now it's manual. And now I can add spaces after and there. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take away the overlap over the power and toughness box.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of like um, bad kerning there.
And the little
Or
reminder power and toughness. There we go. Although at this
yeah,
point, it looks like weird to have that much space there. So what you would need to do is have a little flavor text to accommodate for that. So there's no winning here so far, I guess. So I guess you would have to do, let's see, flavor text here. And if we're doing that, this is already like a lot of lines. So now I might get rid of the reminder and do this. And now it feels a little better. Okay. So if we're getting rid of the reminder text, I might get rid of the Nightbound one. Are there any cards that have no reminder text on one of the Daybound and Nightbounds and reminder text on the other?
that sounds incredibly yucky if it is the case.
Yeah,
Let's
incredibly
see.
yucky. Let's see. So now we just need some flavor text, which is the least important part of this project for me. Yeah, and also the same thing goes for the names. But now we got to come up with that. So that's what I'm going to work on now. So what we can do is throw it back to you. We've already got the design portions here. This looks great. So I just need to cost it, name it, and flavor text it.
I will take the wheel here.
All right. Then I will permit as soon as it's available.
Let's see. So I have finished out my enchanted.
Oh, wow. Nice.
My enchanted, like I already had kind of a conceptual thing that I wanted to do, which is just pay off for being enchanted.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally just make that like a formal thing.
Yeah.
So I've got like a kind of ability word like, but like with the more formal way that like Boast does it now, where Boast is nominally sort of an ability word, but it actually has rules mechanical ability, like meaning.
Yeah.
I can spell the word abilities sometimes. So basically, this one's just it gets ward 1 and the curiosity effect if it's enchanted with a thing. So you can go like turn 1 this, turn 2, instead of just putting a curiosity on a thing, this thing to put on it is a curiosity itself.
Ah.
Like whatever you put on it.
Those abilities as long
Which I
as it's enchanted. That's cool. I like that. It kind of lessens the
uh,
card. Like you always want to have like some kind of like extra boon whenever you're playing with auras.
yeah. So you can do like a bunch of dummy auras here, or really what have you along that front. Um, and you kind of just get to go off. Um, let's see here. Okay, so next up after rain or after enchanted is unexpected. Okay, so obviously unexpected has to do some like randomness. You know, that goes without saying. Uh,
obviously, obviously. Uh, looks towards camera. I don't have randomness in mine. Well,
you
maybe
don't have
actually.
randomness fingers.
Maybe actually. I
Um,
don't know.
I guess
I
also
don't
you could
have
do like
text in
hidden
mine yet. I
information.
only have creature types, and I already have all the creature types in this one.
I'm gonna guess that unexpected is a elf that turns into a zebra.
That's pretty cool. No.
Is zebra even a creature type? Actually, whatever. It can be if we want it to be.
There is a
We
unicorn
determine our
zebra, isn't
fates.
there?
I hope so. That sounds really fun.
Yeah, zebra unicorn. It has type unicorn.
Boo.
Are
Okay, so
zebras are not like they don't belong to the same category as horse, right? Or do they? I know we want to look towards, and this is a shout out to Juliet, is like paying attention to the hooves and like the difference between unicorn and horse is like they're not the same hoof type thing.
I don't think that that's true though. I
What?
think the unicorns also have solid hooves,
What? Don't they have the two
like
or the
horses.
clove? Or I don't know what you call it, but yeah.
No, because that would make unicorns not kosher.
I mean, people like to lump together unicorns and horses because they look alike and they're cool.
Hmm.
And you want to ride a unicorn, you know, like horse girls, but unicorn girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though like unicorns, what is it? They do like really cursed stuff. Like they will like not let anyone ride them who's not a virgin, and they'll like attack them otherwise, or like spooky things like that in like lore.
Oh, the unicorn mythos, yeah. Or that
Yeah.
unicorn blood is good and stuff.
Yeah. It's a really effective paint thinner or whatever.
Tuh.
I don't know why that's what I went with as far as the alchemical purposes of
Mm.
unicorn blood, but I'm pro it. Okay, so randomness. Lol, so random XD holds up Spork. I'm writing that down. Because it's important. It's an important piece of internet history. What does like magic randomness? I feel like the parts that people remember are oftentimes the ones where it's like uh they lost a coin toss or they got mana screwed or things like that.
Hmm.
What does randomness look like uh otherwise?
Off the top of your library, right? Did you already mention that? So we got coin toss, dice rolling, going off the top of your library, like with the effect of kaboom or erratic explosion.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking of like cascade effects as like one thing that's like, but
Mm.
that's like randomness that's I feel like that's wink wink nudge nudge, not really random.
Mm. Opponent's cards in hand or library.
Oh,
Top
you
of
could
it.
do it with opponents' libraries actually. That's interesting.
Mm.
What does like a stealing cascade look like actually?
Wow. Stealing cascade.
Because there's that new mechanic. What is the name of it again? I'm looking it
Oh,
up
discover.
on yeah, Discover. Uh, let's see here. Could you does this work? Does literally just discover n from your opponent's library?
I'm gonna I need to BRB. So I'm
Okay,
going
yeah.
to just, all I'm going to do is going to mute my mic and turn off my webcam and then put a little
Sounds good.
BRB. But you're still, we could still see your screen on my screen.
Okay, yeah.
So let's see. I'm going to get that. There we go. All right, I'll be right back, everybody.
Let's see. Okay. So that definitely feels more random. But what else can you do with your opponent's library? Okay, so what do you as a player not have control over? Uh, I'm thinking something like Hideaway might be interesting. So when this enters the battlefield, I think I'd actually make it as. That way you can't do removal in response because some of these might be dice triggers. Hmm. This does not seem. Yeah, Gonti is sort of Hideaway for Ops deck. That's an interesting way to describe it. Um, What does it look like to do this in a more brief way? Is there no way? What's an interesting thing for this to be randomly? What would I want to do with an opponent's card that would be surprising and random? No, I don't love that. These just feel so profoundly long. I guess Gonti is profoundly long as well, though, isn't he? Yeah, he's a 9-liner. Um, I think this is a fun little Punisher. Is it white though?
Hey, I'm back.
Is this effect white when it's like hideaway, but you hide away on your opponent's cards instead of your own? And then when the creature dies, you can the person who owns the exiled card with it may have you draw 3 cards. If they don't, you can cast that card without paying its mana cost.
That's like holding a card of theirs for ransom.
Yeah.
It feels less white. I think I'm thinking of that. Actually, there's a literal like ransom playtest card.
I do remember the ransom playtest card, but that's like
ransom.
Or there's actually 2 different
yeah.
ransom playtest cards.
Squidnapper and Frog Kidnapper, both rhyme, I guess. So okay. So there's they can pay mana or life or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like if you wanted to keep it white, if that's what the most important thing is, maybe you can. It's sort of like Fiend Hunter or Banisher Priest or whatever, but except you're kind of banishing something in their library, and then when your thing goes away, they get that back. But it depends on. Let's see, if you're doing unexpected, I don't know if you want to get that ransom effect. If that's more important than not the white part, then don't have it be white. or white plus maybe something else like
I
blue,
guess
white
like
blue or white black.
one of the things uh I guess it's kind of like that combustible gear Hulk effect. Um Red got this a fair bit, I suppose. And I guess red
Darkoso
is one of the stealing colors.
Darkoso in Marcus's chat says Gonti is sort of hideaway for opponent's deck.
Yeah, that was they brought that up earlier, and I think that's
Oh,
a
gotcha.
totally valid vibe. Um, and then I went and looked up Gonti and complained about how many lines of rules text it was. um, I think in terms of like ratio of coolness to utter prohibitiveness of printing more effects like that, Gonti is like near the top.
Yeah.
Um, it looks like these risk factor effects are more in red, which I guess makes sense. Um, do I want to do it like that? Do I want to have it be a Punisher thing where the ball's in ops court? Uh, what about something like when you attack? Sorry, phone is being loud. My bad. Oh, wait, how about this? You may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost if you've attacked with more creatures than its mana value this turn. So you get to look at the top 5 and you get to get something, and then you eventually get to play it if you attack with enough creatures.
Yeah.
So there's like the threat of it being something huge. It's probably not very likely that you hit a land, but you might just hold that thing because it's not contextually relevant. And the more turns you hold it, you know, like if you swing with 5 creatures and you don't play it, they're like, oh god, it must be like a 10 drop. But maybe it's just like a Thoughtseize effect that was not like relevant. I like this little guy, whatever he is, but I'm looking for something that's like, I feel like, ooh, yeah, that's a vibe. Let's see here. What was the original word for this again? Unexpected, yeah. Uh, uh, and I think this is probably rare. I feel like those hideaway effects. Hideaway is one of those card keywords that like doesn't really work outside of rare, in my opinion.
What I didn't see Streets of New Capenna's all of their usage there. Let's see, Streets of New Capenna,
Uh,
Hideaway,
I think they only
Rare.
had.
Oh yeah, it was all rare. Nice. And if I look at Streets
Yeah,
of New
the only one
Capenna,
that hasn't been was
yeah.
Watcher for Tomorrow, which, to
Mm.
be clear, is a dope card. And if you've ever ephemerated a Watcher from Tomorrow, you know what true joy feels like. Because it was some truly sicko rectangle stuff they let you get away with when you were doing that.
Hella sicko.
Um, all right, you can take the wheel whenever you're ready.
Ooh, okay, yeah. My unexpected card. Let's see. Let me go over to share screen. Window. Share. Show on stream. Okay. All right. So the first thing is nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition for unexpected. And in the Warhammer cards, those commander decks, they introduced the Inquisitor creature type. So I'm like, aha. Now I have the Inquisition I can use. So we're going with the Inquisitor class type. And then surprise snakes is also another term. I'm thinking of the snakes in a can, like when you open up a little can, a little prank toy like that. So that's the were snake part on the back. And then with the oof part, it's like whenever something really bad happens to somebody or whatever, you might say big oof. So that's the creature type here.
It's a dreadful pun. I love it.
Yeah, and to make sure it is a big oof, I've searched all the oofs in Magic and put the biggest power and toughness ever seen on an oof. The biggest one we've seen is 4/3, but they enter with a minus, or whenever they attack or block, they get smaller. So, just to make sure it's the biggest one we've ever seen, it's 4/4. The backside could be 5/5, 6/6, whatever, but we're gonna start at a base of 4/4. There you go. So from here, I was thinking of what can I tie both of these together. Oofs tend to hate big oof. Lol. Yeah, thank you, Dark Cresta. Yeah. Oofs tend to hate artifacts and enchantments, but I'm kind of there's some Wilds of Eldraine stuff I haven't really played a lot of, so we're taking a look what we got here for oofs. Okay, so we got Toadstool Admirer who gets bigger, so that's cool. Starts up on 1/1. We have Troublemaker Oof, who does the artifact or enchantment thing. Knick-Knack Oof, what does this do? Auras, okay, cool. So we got auras, artifacts, enchantments, getting bigger. Collector Oof, hates on artifacts. We got a Bramblefort Fink that gets bigger to a 10/10 if you pay enough mana. Glimmer Baron gets bigger if you sack a token. I guess there's some themes of getting bigger, which is funny because we have a big oof. We do get bigger with the backside, so we're going to focus maybe on not on getting bigger, but doing some hate. So what I'm thinking of, because snakes are also in like green-black, we could just make it a mono-green thing, but I was thinking of maybe the snake and the oof can have a flip side of if we introduce black into this as well, we can maybe have a because I'm trying to think of the Inquisitor part. What's the Inquisitor? What are you trying to be a little oppressive about, or trying to control whatever Inquisitors do? I'm thinking of doing a what's the term for they reveal Thoughtseize effect or stuff like that, but not like any card, but we're being a little creative here. Is having the oof care about artifacts, enchantments, or whatever in their hand. And then the snake can be the side they can care about the getting rid of creatures from their hand.
I don't know if there's a specific term for it.
Yeah, so
like Thoughtseize effect is just what comes to mind.
Yeah. So kind of Thoughtseize. So we're gonna go off of so when it enters, target opponent reveals their hand. We're going off of the templating of Grief. It's a creature that triggers a reveal effect that way, and then you choose. Let's see. It says on Grief you choose a non-land card from it. So in this case, you choose a artifact card, enchantment card, artifact card, or enchantment card from it. That player discards that card. And then on this side, I guess we could say non-creature just to make it a little weirder, I guess. Because if I want to do the same thing on the other side with the snake. So we're going to copy this effect here. We're just going to put it over here. When this creature enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a creature card from it. That player discards that card. Although getting rid of instants or sorceries is kind of weird, huh? But that's an oof. Yeah, I guess we could just do artifact or enchantment. Okay. So if I were casting this and I got this effect plus a 4/4, I think I want to at least have it be green black with 2. So 4 for a 4/4. With the little trinket artifact or enchantment, it tends to maybe miss. It's a little less reliable, but if it's nighttime, could be reliable. But then you have if you're paying 4 for a 6/6, but you have to have jumped through the hoop for it. I mean, we could do a 5/5 snake. And we could call this not a were snake, but like a were boa or something like that. Like engulfing, maybe it swallowed up that creature.
Usually for those, it's like it exiles it temporarily, like your kite sail freebooters and whatnot, where like gets rid of it for a bit.
How about
like
this? Like, how about acid spitting wereboa?
That sounds very. Gosh, what was the Godzilla set? Oh God, how am I forgetting this? No, not Kaladesh. How am I forgetting? Ikoria, that's the one.
Thought seizing wereboa.
It's a little on the nose, but I like it.
Thought constricting, but yeah, that's okay. Wait. Oh, I know. And then the seizing oof. Like the
like it's taking things.
Thought constricting. Yeah. Yeah, maybe seizing. Yeah, that's funny. And then some other word for thought, like idea or something. Idea stealing oof.
I think it's just seizing oof, like Darko was saying in the chat.
Seizing oof? Let's take a look here at the chat here.
Like it's just seizing a thing. It's like stealing a thing, but
seizing
then on the backside,
seizing
it's
wereboa.
Thought seizing. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I do like to have a little different, like they could be synonyms, but
I like thought seizing on the back, so it goes from seizing to thought seizing.
Okay. Sure, we'll go with that. Chess discretion or stream/chess discretion there. All right, it's definitely not. I mean, could it be common? We're only getting an ETB, huh?
Yeah, and it's not like super cheap on doing the thing.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
And it's somewhat conditional. I feel like it'd probably be like a signpost uncommon just because it's gold, but like if it's in a set where there's a high density of gold, then it might just be a payoff for being willing to take a gold common.
And if it's uncommon, yeah, we could do that. And if it is uncommon, I would want it to add like a sort of trinket keyword or something like that, like a menace on these things or something like that. But I think I'm okay with leaving it common here. I like having some commons when I can. If it's okay as is without adding more, then I think I like to leave it as is. Okay, wait. Although the 5/5 is being overlapped right here, which is just another silly problem to have. So all we have to do is copy, get rid of the auto text here, add in back in, and then we'll fix it. There you go. It's fixed. Okay.
We'll
That's
fix
fine.
it in post.
Fix it in post. All right. You're already working on growth, right?
Vaguely. I'm trying to think about like whether I want to do like a giant
Mm.
growth effect or like a rampant growth effect or like a. I mean, growth is like the greenest color in the history of green, and there's a lot of
Mm.
things that have the word growth in them. I suppose I could also do like a. What's that strange growth you've got there? But that's a little gross for my tastes.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna pus. So
Um,
I've got for growth. So I got Slith. If you remember those from Meriden,
oh yeah,
they
I
grow
kind of
over
made a
time.
slith for the you make a pack.
No way.
My proposition for this you make a pack is like kind of a diet slith in that it like hits in and ingests, and whenever it ingests a land, you get a
Yeah,
counter on it.
that's
So it's
cool.
like a third of a slith approximately.
So for context, the you make the pack that Marcus is talking about in the Beacon of Creation Discord server. There's this design activity exercise, kind of a group thing, where we're just designing a pack of cards, a card at a time, and there's no rules other than just submitting whatever design you want for that slot, and then the everyone participating. It's kind of interesting to see what is just naturally forming in this pack. There's some kind of food related set that seems to be cluing, which is why you're picking Slith, like a diet thing, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a food set theme going on, like an underworld food, like underworld kitchen. Maybe where Asmor and Amartica Dyson Kuldakar, I think I got it. Maybe
Yep. You got it right on the
is
money.
from. Yeah. So yeah, and so I chose Slith for the Daybound part type, and on the back I thought of our friends the Lurgoyfs. The Lurgoyf can typing tends to relate to being growing based on some category. The most famous being the Tarmogoyf, growing based off of types in the graveyards. So yeah,
I kind of find it interesting then. You could have like on the front side, it's like a 1/1 slith for 1 and a green.
yeah,
And on the back side, it's just got the verbatim Tarmogoyf text, but also has the slith text or something.
yeah. Let's see. Let's see what's the original Lurgoyf says. It's 1+, star. Its power is equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards, and then its toughness is that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. What is the green? The green Slith. Like, let's look at that one as well, because we're kind of combining two ability, like very mechanically tied to their creature type stuff. Lurgoyf is like all Lurgoyfs tend to be star stuff. Now Sliths, let's see, this one is just a 1/1 with trample, and then it has the Slith ability, which is when it deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Which doesn't have to have trample. I think that the Slith ability is this. It's like whenever card name. So I want to keep that. We want to keep this here to feel like a Slith. Now, there is an Arcbound Slith. I think that's just the same thing as this, but with modular.
That sounds right, yeah.
Looking here. Yeah, it is. It's a
But it's like
0/0
3
with
mana or
modular
something.
1. Yeah, cost 2.
Yeah. Oh, it's only 2? That's actually pretty pushed for back then.
Yeah, 2 for a 1/1 that gets bigger.
And then feeds all of your artifacts, which on in Darksteel was like every other creature.
Mm.
Um,
This is an interesting thing here. How about this? Ooh, okay. What if it gets +1/+1 for every counter on creatures among creatures on the battlefield or something? Which can get bananas, I know. How about this? Card name gets +1/+1 for each +1/+1 counter among other on other creatures you control. Something like that. So now it grows based off of everybody. So if you play it in a Slith deck, this thing is like the Uber Slith. Yeah. So it's going to grow also based on... Oh, I guess we should just carry over the Slith text as well, too. Or maybe it's just... For each +1/+1 counter, just on creatures you control, among creatures you control. I'm looking in Scryfall now for counting counters. Counting counters.
I don't think anything has done that specific counting counters effect.
Yeah.
I think that there's stuff that tracks the number of creatures that have +1/+1 counters on them, but I don't think there's anything that counts the number of counters among creatures you control. It would probably be it gets +1/+1 for each +1/+1 counter among creatures you control, though. That is, I think, the text syntax.
Oh, here we go. I got it. Ascendant Acolyte is from Neon Dynasty Commander. Ascendant Acolyte enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each +1/+1 counter among other creatures you control. So we could go gets +1/+1 for each +1/+1 counter among... Now, if we do among creatures you control, it just effectively doubles the boost, which I think is fine. It's going to get bananas. If we keep it like this, that means we're losing the Slith part. So maybe, since it is a Slith Lurgoyf, we could just do this. Now, do all Lurgoyfs... Let me look at this. Type Lurgoyf. If we look up and look at all Lurgoyfs that exist, is it always... Oh, wow. Altar of the Goyf gives +X. Okay, that makes sense, though. Yeah, all Lurgoyfs tend to be... Oh, no, that's not right. Okay, if we look at Magnivore, for example, it's just ***. Power and toughness each equal number of sorcery cards in all graveyard. Okay. So if we do power and toughness each equal to the number of +1/+1 counters. Oh, there we go. If I make this a 0/0, I kind of like the star thing, though. They all tend to have a star. So I guess we would do this. Each equal to the number of +1/+1 counters. Among creatures you control. So this is doing that overlap thing here. Let me go ahead and get rid of the auto reminder. Here, let me check chat here, see if I'm missing. There's a couple of new competitive things that count different types of counters. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Yeah, there's a lot of counter shenanigans. I do like this +1/+1 direction. I'm going to lock that in so that we can save time for the next ones that we're doing.
I think I have a reasonably okay idea for growth here. Tell me if this sounds cogent to you. I think so the idea is growth counters.
Yeah.
And what they do is a creature with one or more growth counters on it has tap, add X of any one color. where
Mm.
X is the number of growth counters on this.
Uh, Wait, sorry, say that again.
So permanents with growth counters on them have tap. Add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of growth counters on this.
Ah, okay. So an example might be something enters with one growth counter.
Yeah, or like a creature that has like tap, add a growth counter to it,
Yeah.
and it also has, or no, actually, you could just do a creature that's like one in a green, and it has one and tap, put a growth counter on it.
Mm. So
So
it's
it's like a
like,
storage land creature almost,
yeah,
but like you get the dividends each
you're
time.
doing you can do a rampant growth by just adding a growth counter to something, right? Is
Yeah,
that the idea? Ah, that's
yeah,
cool.
and part of the well, it wouldn't be like a rampant growth the first time. The first time it's an abundant growth. You have to get a second one on it to be a
Oh
rampant
yeah,
growth.
yeah. Okay. Let me look
So
up
the one that
abundant
I
growth.
have for the actual like showing off the effect is a giant growth effect, which is for a single green instant,
Mm.
target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Put a growth counter on it. If it's your turn, untap it.
That's cool. I like the that little I like to making sure it's on your turn, so you don't have to worry about like adding board complexity of like, okay, we know that thing can do stuff, but still on tap, and so now you're gonna probably choose to do stuff on your turn and makes your opponent not have to worry about that creature if you're trying to get the value.
Yeah, the specific goal is to like not have it be one of the because there've been a fair few like green gets to like snap block this thing that you didn't expect it to be able to block sort of effects.
Mm.
Um, and I figured I don't want to do like it would be like a push on those already because those are usually +1/+3. It's very rare that they're like +2/+2. There's only been one of them that's been +2/+2, and that one didn't have an upside, so it'd be kind of a lot. Or at least that was like the conceptual goal. Maybe I'm being like a little too anemic with it, but like if so, oh well.
Do you want to Are you ready to share on your side what you're working on for the
Yeah,
growth?
let me show this off. I'll press the series of buttons necessary to achieve that. Entire
We're trying out the
screen.
co-stream
Kablow.
feature of or stream together feature of Twitch.
And Dracos, there might be a thing that counts different types of counters from New Capenna. I don't remember one off the top of my head, but I
Very new Cabana like to do
I am not a thing rememberer, so
that.
you know. Um, do any of these look? All right, I'm gonna try the word growth. Let's brace for impact in case it looks really gross. That's not horrible. Is this already a magic card? It looks like it might be. Does it look floral? It doesn't really look floral. I'll leave that as a fallback in case I can't find anything that looks good. Look at that. There's so many already magic effects for the word growth. I feel like it is a very magical,
What a
magical in
magical,
the sense of
yeah,
Magic the Gathering,
yeah,
a
yeah.
word.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, I kind of like how grody this looks. I might change this to fungal growth because this is just look at this fun guy.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure. Opportunity, chance of fungi joke being made when working on fungus. Uh,
1 in 1.
plus,
Let's be clear. I kind of want to keep Scale Dude looking on. Can I fit Scale Dude looking on? Maybe. Um, yeah, that looks good to me. All right, that's some growing. And next up is Starlight. Did you have any thoughts for Starlight? Do you already have your creature type set out for that, right?
I don't have the class type, but I have the race, humanoid race, and the were race.
What's the humanoid and the where in that one?
The humanoid is Moonfolk, because of stars and moon.
Yeah.
And I haven't used Moonfolk yet. And the where one, I'm gonna give y'all a guess. Well, who can guess it?
Alien.
That's a good one. The stars, right? Aliens come from space and they're stars. It's a good one. It is not alien.
I'm gonna go just weird with it and say outsider.
Oh, okay, no, but that's good. Is
Eldrazi?
there outsider type? Or
I don't know if there is, but it feels like the sort of thing where they're gonna do a D&D set where inevitably outsider gets used at some point.
Oh, I see. It's a D&D thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm not familiar with the outsiders in D&D.
Was it Eldrazi?
It is not. That's a good one as well.
Dang. It's not Phyrexian, is it?
No.
That would be a little mean spirited to Tamiya fans.
Oh no, yeah. Hey everybody. It becomes
Too
a
soon.
werephyrexian. Yeah. Yeah, this moonfolk, and it's called Avatar of Tamio or something.
Yeah.
Tamio's cousin.
Tammy Schmo, the store brand Tamio.
Anti of it's not being mean to Tamio here. Just another unrelated moonfolk.
God, what would it be then? It's not just a straight up werewolf, is it?
No.
No, you already have one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I have already used the werewolf type.
Werebear?
Mm-mm. And you can like work on your Starlight and just randomly spout
I'm gonna
out
keep
ones.
percolating. Yeah.
Yeah. Or chat
Right,
might beat you to it too.
Starlight feels like it could be like a token or something like that, maybe. Maybe Stardust or stars or Starlight tokens if you're making a thing. By contrast, what else do I think of when I think of stars? I think of like pretty shiny things. Obviously, there's constellation, which is enchantment matters. So maybe enchantment matters. Or Nyx. I guess rays also. What would a starlight enchantment do? Feels like it sheds light on something.
Starlight. So we're doing. You're already getting the Nyxborn Theros vibes there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I guess. Is the backside an Eidolon?
Oh, no. Eidolon. Let me look at those. What do those tend to be? Spirits? Okay, gotcha.
Oh, are they spirits? Yeah, spirits already been used.
Oh, I was thinking maybe you're trying to brainstorm for your card too, right?
I guess, yeah. Um, what would a Starlight token do, though? Would it be lame to have something that just does the Mishra's Bauble effect? Is that too little of an effect to put on a token? Look at the top card of target player's library.
Draw a card at the beginning of the next. Wait, would you change it to just be draw a card as well?
I would change it to be like no draw a card. Just look at
just
the top
look.
card of a player's library.
I would want there to be some other mechanic that goes off of the top. I might want to, I don't know, I put it into Lorwyn or something where it's like Clash or the kinship. I don't know. You don't even have much control over it. I would want to like have it be a scry then. I would want some control. What does knowing the top have to do? Maybe, yeah, I would want to put it in a set where you can name the top as if it was supposed to be random, and this will let you take a peek. I do like the top of library means top of sky. Starlight is illuminating. It's shining onto the top of your library. Top of someone's library. Here's an idea, maybe for you when you're talking about Starlight tokens, but maybe if you're okay with star tokens, you can. I know there's already a constellation mechanic, but if you want to form a constellation with stars, like Orion's Belt or Big Dipper, arrange a star thing. I don't know. It's too bad that the word constellation is already taken up because that would be the perfect word for that. Constellize.
What about something like this?
Beginning of each end step, if the active player casts no spells this turn, create a Starlight token. Uh-oh, there's the pressure. Opponent wants to keep casting spells now.
Sorry, I'm looking up the bullet points because I don't know how to do bullet points on Windows because I always forget. Hold on, I guess I should remove the space between scry one. Or actually, that doesn't work. Choose one doesn't work in reminder text hardly at all.
Choose one in reminder text.
Yeah.
As in, it's getting a bit too complex.
Yeah. Oh, actually, hold on. I can do this in a cool way, though. That looks fun, actually. the Nyx frame here? Did my... Oh, good gosh, golly. Please don't be hung. Phew. I didn't click on that. Let's go back to this.
Oh, whenever they change
Nyx.
frame formats, yeah. It's kind of loading up stuff.
Oh, no. Just the one. Just the one. No. There. Phew. Eidolon of Moonless Nights.
Oh, Moonless Nights. It's kind of pretty. I'm kind of running out of spell casting types as class types among cards. I'm looking through. I've wanted to use Wizard just now.
Okay, yeah.
I've already used Wizard. Oh, looks like I haven't used Shaman. Okay, so I have this Geomancer I've designed already with Wizard on day 11 for Earth. So instead, sometimes a Mancer can be a Shaman, especially if it's in red. So I am changing that right now to be a Shaman so I can free up Wizard for for this card, day 29. Oh, Moonfolk Wizard.
I feel like the constraints of that would really start to pile up near the tail end of the month.
Yeah. Good thing we're at day 29 though. Only 2 left.
That definitely looks like an Eidolon to me. All right, that looks good for Starlight. Do you want to switch over to yours for your Starlight?
Sure. Right, taking control here. Share screen. Choosing a window. And confirming. Here we go. The type was starfish. It's a were starfish.
I should have thought of starfish.
Starfish. So what I've decided to go for here is a reference to both sigiled starfish and sinister starfish. Sigiled starfish is a 0/3 tap to scry 1 for 1 and a blue, and then Sinister Starfish came out in the Modern Horizons 2 set, which is a black version, but it's a 0/3 as well that taps to Surveil 1. Surveil 1 is like better than Scry 1 in most cases. So to reference that, I'm going off of having Surveil be the backside. It's just got even more sinister or whatever. And on the front is a Scry 1. 0/3 being on the back, meaning it got a bit tougher, but it still didn't increase in power, so it could still feel like a starfish. So I made it a little weaker on the front as a Moonfolk wizard. But this is otherwise like I'm basically costing it just like Sigiled Starface is a 0/3 for 1 and a blue, but with Scry 1. So what you can do is you can get Sigiled Starfish's whole dealio with Surveil 1 for 1 and a blue, but you have to jump through the hoop of making it nighttime, and then if it's daytime, you do get the Scry 1, but the downside is 0/2 to balance out the fact that it has daybound, nightbound. So I'm pretty much done here. It's just a common. I could make it uncommon like Sigiled Starfish is in Jumpstart. Oh, it is a common in Journey into Nyx. I would want it to be common nowadays. It was probably increased to uncommon maybe because of the 0/3 repeated. I don't know. But it feels like I should leave it at common at 0/2. It's just a simple lycanthrope.
I feel like Sigiled Starfish was it meant to be kind of a nerfed looter, and then it turned out it wasn't nerfed enough, so it got kicked up to uncommon. Although I honestly feel like even in a limited environment nowadays, like a Merfolk looter would not be mind blowing, just because like limited environments are so much faster, but they like aggressively cost out Merfolk looters anyway. So I don't know.
Right now I'm having trouble with the naming of this here. Oh, a seer. There we go. A seer is good because then what I want to do for the backside of the Were Starfish, because Sinister and Sigiled, I wanted to have an S for something Were Starfish, but something that wasn't Sinister or Sigiled. Another S word. And feel free, chat, to suggest any S words.
In there's never been a sea urchin in Magic, has there?
A sea urchin?
Yeah. Because it could be a seer urchin. Were Starfish.
Yeah. And an urchin can refer to someone that, like a person that's kind of a, what do you call it?
Down on their luck.
Let me see. Yeah. Let me go to dictionary.com. Urchin. Earn. I accidentally typed in urchin, and now that's like a thing that you can do. A mischievous boy or a small boy or youngster. Okay, all right, that's enough. Yeah, so
an Oliver Twist type.
Seer urchin. Ooh, I typed in urchin again. What the heck? That must be some
You
kind
just
of...
are really obsessed with the idea of having urns on your chin. Where else are you going to store your...
Or make my
I don't know, whatever was in those
You know
Sphinx
how urns
chin
just look like
extensions.
a vase or a vase? But instead I make them into faces. So it's a vase, but a face, and it has a big old nice chin.
An urn chin, yeah.
Yeah. So I could do a seer urn chin, and it's sort of like, this feels like it could be a kid, 0/2 kid that sees stuff like, hey, what do you see, kid? You got talents? And then they're like, oh yeah, I got talents that you don't even know. Then they become a starfish. Dun-dun-dun-dun. All right, so that means it's a seer urchin, and then so kind of something Were Starfish.
Yeah.
A seeing Were Starfish.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or a spying Were Starfish because it's surveilling.
Oh yeah. That's fair. That's what a rascal. They can fit into places. They can even spy from underwater. They can go into that rich noble's aquarium tank and be a starfish. And then there you go. Great. I'm going to leave it at that. Let's move on. I guess we're both at Frost now.
You can keep going on your
already
end.
On my screen here. So yeah.
I have not made any Frost progress yet.
So for Frost, I thought of Frost Giants. That's a big thing, especially in If I'm an MCU, was I got? I don't know. I don't follow the MCU nowadays. Ever since Avengers Endgame, there's too many other stuff going on with that world. Uh,
Yeah.
but the Frost Giants were a thing with the Loki and the Thor stories. So putting giant as the humanoid race type. Um, I chose Jackal, the Were Jackal, because Jack Frost. So there you go. There's the tie-in there. And I don't have a class type yet, and I don't have a frost effect, but I think I know what to do here for frost. I do love doing tapped with stun counters as a thing for frosting things. There might be other expressions of freezing stuff, like the frozen solid aura, although that's kind of an outlier. Um, whenever you can frozen solace is it's an aura. When you enchant it, they don't untap, but also if you deal damage to it, it becomes destroyed. Will is a frost mage of the Will and Rowan duo, the siblings, and Will tends to make you lose. I guess I could type this out here. So tap, and maybe with stun counters. You can also, for frosting things, you can cause creatures to lose abilities and power. So those are all things you can do. And I don't know what is up with how a jackal comes into play here, but we can always just make things worse as I go to. But I'm going to type jackal. I'm going to see if anything. I feel like jackals are just... Oh, wait, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be choosing the Were Jackal, because jackals are actually a humanoid type. And jackals are based on being like dog people.
Are they like consistently? There's no like just a jackal.
Oh, you know what? You're right. There is the jackal familiar, and there's probably that. What do you call that deck type? The red deck wins. Not red deck wins, but yeah, the aggro. Let's see.
Exert?
Jackal.
Oh, Jackal Pup.
Jackal Pup. I see it now. Yeah. It is. Yeah, Jackal is just a Jackal Pup. Yeah, okay. We could be a Were Jackal. Thank you. Yeah, Jackal Pup is it was used in older decks. Sly. That's the type. Is it pronounced Sly? It's Sligh. I'll
think
type
that's
it
right.
here on screen here.
Boss Sly.
There you go.
Nicknamed after Tom the Boss Ross.
If you look up these deck lists from back in the day, there's a lot of very aggressive red spells and creatures. And Jackal Pup is one, because it's a 2/1 for 1 red. And back in the day, that's like very aggressive, even if it doesn't matter what the drawback is, because you're gonna hopefully burn them down before you lose. Make them lose more life than you lose life till they get to 0 first. Okay, cool. So jackals maybe historically are red, so we might make this a red thing. And now I'm already thinking of if this is some kind of... I mean, we don't have to do a frosty giant, although it is frost themed. If we do blue and red, we can kind of then make this themed after the plane of that one plane in the Nordic plane. Kaldheim, yes. Or whatever is it Nordic or whichever it is? Here we go.
I'm fairly certain it's Nordic, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like Proto-Germanic or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Mishmash of places where it's cold.
Kaldheim. We can make this a Kaldheim themed thing. So I'm gonna choose a word from the to clue you in that this is from Kaldheim. So we're gonna search set Kaldheim and search for text that mentions either giant or type giant, and we're gonna see what kind of names that are. Oh, Surtland. Surtland is one word that is related to the giants. There's the Battle of Frost and Fire. Okay, cool. So we're going to go with Surtland. So this is a kind of Surtland something. And then it does stuff. So maybe we can do some kind of freezer burn or whatever. Something that burns. Yeah. I like it when doing kind of an escalating thing here. Let's see. We can maybe do when card name enters the battlefield. Choose one. So one thing is tap an untapped creature. Tap an or let's see. Choose target creature, then choose one? Is that an effect? That might be one. Choose another target creature. Target creature. Choose one. It might just be choose one, and then it would be... Oh, I see. It would be... Okay. I'm going to go with when enters... There you go. Enters... We have 31 cards that fit this. I'm trying to find the templating that would be appropriate for choosing a creature and then choosing something based on that creature. We could do this instead, where it's like this. Choose target creature. If it's untapped, tap it. If it's tapped and doesn't have a stun counter on it, put a stun counter on it.
So
yeah.
When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature, comma. If that creature was already tapped, or no, period. If that creature was already tapped, put a stun counter on it instead. But then, like, what's the third stage on that? Otherwise,
so if it already has a stun counter, it's going to deal damage because it gets even worse.
Oh, okay. So actually, then tap target creature. If it's already tapped, put a stun counter on it instead. If it already has a stun counter on it, deal damage to it instead. Not instead, but like just you would just say if it already has a stun counter on it, deal damage to it instead.
If it was already tapped, put a stun counter on it. If it already had... Oh, see, I don't want to add an additional stun counter on it. I'd rather deal damage instead of the stun counter. So I could
No. If it's already tapped, put a stun counter on it, okay. And then say if it already had put a stun counter on it instead.
Oh.
And then if it already has a stun counter on it, deal damage to it instead. Deal end damage to it instead.
Oh, I see. If it's already tapped, put a stun counter on it instead. If it already has a stun counter on it, and then damage effect here. Now I could base it off of set damage, like doing 3, or I could do some kind of damage related to its toughness, or just deal 1 or something like that.
Yeah. So you could deal damage equal to the number of stuns, or you could do just a static amount. Really, the world is your oyster.
Yep. Okay. Surtland Frost Blaster. Some kind of indication that it's an excess amount of ice. Frostbiter. So if you're getting frostbitten, you know what? What if we just destroy it? No, that's not red. It's not blue and red at all anymore.
The Frostbiter could deal damage equal to its power to it.
To this creature's power?
Yeah.
Hmm. Ooh, okay. You know, to kind of build up on something, maybe we can do whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into this. Could do that. Stun counters can't be removed from creatures. Your opponent's control. Bam. Isn't that very cold? What a cold thing to do.
Does that work? Because stun counters replace
The untapping?
the untap, I think.
Let's see.
Am I
okay.
wrong? I could be wrong.
So then we can do if a stun counter would be removed from a creature an opponent controls. Don't remove. No. Attempt to remove, and then you just can't. Okay. Oh, how about this? What about creatures with stun counters can't untap? Creatures your opponents control with stun counters on them can't untap.
Sure, yeah.
With a stun counter on it or with stun counters on them? Ooh.
I think stun counters on them.
Harris, how's it going? Where have we seen? This is in my chat. Harris asks, where have we seen Mark before? Something to do with Christmas? Do you remember a Christmas thing? Did you and I do
I don't
a
remember a
thing?
Christmas thing.
Okay.
I think I sent you a Secret Santa thing a while back. Or not Secret Santa, just a regular Christmas thing. The last minute chopping. So if that's what they're thinking of.
Last minute chopping. Oh, yes, yes. It's all coming together. Yes. Harris, maybe you did remember this. Marcus had sent me a last minute chopping copy of last minute chopping the magic card because of this quest I had to try to get last minute chopping and I recreated the arm from Last Minute Chopping, which I'm looking at over off screen here, and it was a kind of a whole campaign and trying very slim chances to get, for those who don't know, slim chances to try to get the holiday card for that year from Wizards. And the reason why I tried a little bit harder there when I found out what the holiday card was going to be is because my favorite holiday is Halloween, and I figured that the holiday cards are always like Christmassy / whatever the winter holiday of choice. They're always going to be themed that way, and they're not going to be themed Halloween. So this was the closest I was going to get to a Halloween card, I think, for years, is to have an Innistrad-based holiday card that Last Minute Chopping shows. If you look it up, I guess I can link that card when I look in Scryfall. It shows the siblings, Gisa and Giralf, doing a cute little interaction there. Last minute shopping is a thing that you might do. Gisa doing last minute chopping. Gisa holding an axe behind her back to show there's some fresh blood on it, because in the background you could see this armless zombie, and why Giralf might like a zombie arm, because he likes to stitch body parts together to make Frankenstein stuff. They both make zombies of different kinds. She raises them from the grave, whereas he makes them, stitches them together. Let me share the link there. Yeah.
To call back really far, Stitcher, I hardly knew her.
Yeah,
that's a good example of it being very contrived.
For for those who've been around since the beginning of the stream, you will for the what do you call it? The class of first hour of stream. Call back to you. Get your flash your alumni rings from a couple hours ago. Anyway, yes, the kind of cosplay, Harris. I have a cosplay ready prop. If I guess I've cut my hair by now. I can try to get a Giralf thing going. There is a cosplayer already. A.E. Marling is someone I know in the community who has cosplayed as Giralf. But not that I couldn't try a Giralf myself. But anyway, Marcus is very kind to send me... I didn't get one from Wizards, and then it was like, well, I guess I tried. It was like over a month of trying, and then Marcus sent me last minute chopping. So I succeeded, but only through the power of friendship. The brick joke paid off. It says Marcus in my chat. Wait, what brick joke?
The blank her.
Yes.
Bit. Yeah.
Let's see. So I'm trying to figure out a way to make this go worse.
You could double the number of stun counters on things. So keep they don't untap, and then double the number of stun counters.
So like, whenever a creature your opponent control,
when this creature like enters or transforms, double the number of stun counters.
Yeah, I could do that. But I also want to get harsher. I think I'm going to do this. So whenever a creature an opponent controls with a stun counter on it, would untap. Put a stun counter on it instead. So things are just getting worse for them. And if we take... I guess we're going to take the reminder text off of this too, the snipe bound. Okay. So I'm going to copy that. Yeah, whenever this creature... I think I need this ability, the static, to go underneath the ETB/transform one because of the ETB part. There you go. So I would take this part. Okay, so whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into card name... Oh, how about this? Tap target creature does all that ability, right? Then repeat this process again. There you go. Harsh.
I feel like the procedure on stuff might be a little much. What if you just did tap target creature, put a stun counter on it, then deal damage equal to the number of stun counters?
Oh, that's better. I like that. Tap target. Yeah, that's great. Tap target creature, put a stun counter on it. And put a stun counter on it. Okay. Then, yeah. Wait, that card is not legal. Yeah. The last minute chopping is since it's a holiday card, they've grouped it into the group of cards of not legal for tournament play, especially since they're only given to those who have helped a wizard's mission, I guess. So that's employees and stores, right? Yeah, because you're aware of that because Marcus worked at a store. Worked at a card store, gaming store. And also any, I guess, content creators that might have done. My guess is that have done collaborations with Wizards, and they're like, "Oh, thank you for doing a collab. Here is or thank you, however much you've been promoting Wizards or boosting Wizards' sales essentially in some way." Whether you're an employee or...
Yeah, that sounds right.
Or you sell their merchandise, or you are a content creator that draws in the crowds, or have done a collab. Okay, so let's do tap target creature and put a stun counter on it. Then card name deals damage to it equal to the number of stun counters. Oh, wait. There's two its here, so I need to specify that the Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. It's still the same it. Deals damage to the creature equal to number of stun counters on the creature. Tap target creature, put a stun counter on
I do that creature for the first one just because it helps grok ability a little bit.
Yes, that's excellent. Yeah, I agree here. And put a stun counter on that creature. So we're going to do the same thing over here. If it's already tapped, let's see, tap target creature, if that creature is already tapped. Although...
Oh, I was thinking it'd just be the same on both sides, and you either repeat this process once on the right side.
Oh. Well, I guess I was trying to do that repeat already, but I mean, I like that this is just doing all three effects at once. But the repeat is... Let me go back in time, actually. Let's go back in time. Okay, here we go. Kind of. Hold on. Yeah, this is what it looks like when you repeat it. Yeah, this might be alright. This is definitely in... I don't think it's mythic territory. It doesn't feel like it. Maybe it could be. I don't know.
I feel like complexity-wise, it's pretty mythic.
Okay. We could do that. All right, so if this is some giant, then let's look at all the Kaldheim giants and see how big they've gotten.
I can already tell you my giant is going to be bigger than however big yours ends up.
Oh, you tried to share a link, Marcus, and I think my auto mod or whatever settings prevented the link.
Oh, it was just experiment 5 from Scryfall.
Okay, let me share that for you then.
Oh, that's sweet. You don't got to do that if you don't want to.
Hey, it's all right. It's only going to take a few seconds here.
Oh, hold on. I just had an audio capture from a thing that autoplayed. That was annoying.
I did not hear anything myself, so maybe...
Bullet dodged then, hopefully. Might have polluted my stream. Apologies in advance to anyone listening who heard just a random half a second of audio.
Here we go. T-Top Strav, how's it going? I'm going to try to pronounce your backwards Magic the Gathering text here. T-Top Strav is in my chat. A regular show up or part of the community, the Bradley Rose stream community. Naira tag it Kajim. I'm trying to pronounce Magic the Gathering if you were to spell it backwards. All right, so this is a Surtland Frostbiter, so they're from Kaldheim. So this is a Kaldheim giant. So I'm going to go and look up Kaldheim type giant. I'm going to see how small they get. The smallest I'm seeing so far is a 3/3. So we could do that. We could do a 3/3 giant.
Hey guys, me, old Shuckle.
Oh, we got a Shuckle. We got a Shuckle attempt here. Yep. Sorry. That's too bad. Did not get the Shuckle unlocked for context. I have a Pokemon Crystal Nuzlocke, which has unlocks of various kinds, and Shuckle can only be unlocked by doing a command to Shuckle. Yeah. Thanks, T-Top Strav. All right, so if we do 3/3 here, we can do the Werejackal at maybe 4/4, but we could also make this a pretty big beefy peep, depending on when we want this effect to occur. So first, I'm thinking, what turn do I want this to happen on? It's pretty harsh because it effectively just locks you down forever. If it comes, I feel like I don't want it to happen until turn 6 or later, maybe even a 7-mana guy. And if it's a 7-mana guy, now I want to reward you with power and toughness that's like even better than that. So maybe a 6/6. And if that's true, then maybe an 8/8 on the back.
I could see that, yeah. It's kind of a claustrophobia version of there's that one werewolf that exiles a thing when it enters, and then when it transforms back into its day side, exiles a thing.
Oh, is that the white into red werewolf?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we could look that up real quick here. Brutal Cathar. When it enters or transforms into Brutal Cathar, exile a creature until an opponent control. Oh, yeah. So, like, as time goes on, the Brutal Cathar will keep exiling creatures until the werewolf itself leaves the battlefield. Yep.
Exactly.
That's cool. Now, that thing... like, if you kill Brutal Cathar, everything resets back to okayness. Whereas the Frostbiter here I have on screen, if you kill the Frostbiter, the stun counters will still be there. So things are still tapped down. Oh, actually, I'm rereading the text here. If it already has a stun counter on it, deals damage equal to the number of stun counters on it instead. I need to change this, actually. I wouldn't want it to be on. Let's see if it already has a stun counter on it. If it already had a stun counter on it, I do want to add the stun counters, but it's going to start dealing damage. Then if it already, okay, there we go. Then if it has 2 or more stun counters on it, there we go. Okay, it's a little, yeah. Okay. A little messy, but we get it. Certain Frostbiter, and then we can do some kind of harshing Werejackal or something like that. Frostburn, Frostbiter, Freeze Burn, Burn Freeze.
I like Frostburn Werejackal.
There you go. Not a bite, but a burn. Yeah, got it. Okay, we can switch over to you now.
Alrighty. Let me show you what I've got. If I can find where I put the tab that I've got to press a half dozen buttons on. Take over entire screen. All right, so here's what I have for Frost. Jotunvata. It's 3 white and a blue for a 9/9 with vigilance. It also has Frigid, which is this creature. This deals damage to creatures in the form of stun counters.
Ah.
And it has Blizzard 20. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 20 or more stun counters among permanents, create a token copy of Jotunvata.
Whoa. That's cool. So the deal, have you, that's funny. I was looking at another Moxtober card from among the community. Someone designed a card for Gnarled, and they made a tree folk that deals damage. The keyword is called Entangling. Deals damage in the form of stun counters. Yeah. So
that was actually.
Oh yeah.
That was a rework of. I did that like back in like Moxtober 2019 or something like that. But back then I called them frost counters because I was like frost breath, frost counters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But then like the thing for this one is the ability word blizzard.
Yeah.
Which is tracking volume of stun counters.
Awesome. Yeah. I love the dealing damage in the form of stun counters being a space being explored.
Yeah. It's an interesting drawback mechanic because it's like usually not awesome. It's pretty okay on defense because then you get like frost walls that can be like a 5/5 or whatever, and it blocks and it doesn't kill the thing, but like how distinguishable is being stunned for 5 turns from being killed? But then this one, I just kind of wanted a thing where it's like, okay, eventually, like this thing swings in, and they just kick the bucket.
Yeah,
unless
like,
they can gang block
naturally,
like 9 power.
Naturally, like even though you're not killing creatures at all when you deal damage in form of stun counters, naturally over time, assuming you have a way to tap them down in the first place, they have no blockers, and now your big power stuff is just going to kill them, right?
And even if they do have blockers, like even if they have committed themselves to like, I'm going to try and outlast the stun counter guys.
Yeah.
This is like a go over the top of that effect where it will eventually mount up enough stun counters on them that you're making like exponentially scaling 9/9s every turn.
Yeah. They can't outlast. Like, how do you deal with? It goes from 1 to 2 and then 2 to 4, right? The exponential part, and then 4 to 8. Yeah, you're dead. Eventually, the blizzard will get you.
Yep.
Yeah. It looks like we're down to the last slot now, huh?
Final
Reward?
Moxtober. Oh, I have a thing for this.
Ooh.
Sorry.
I'm not sure I've heard. Let me see. Let me play your.
That's I'll play it.
I'm not sure I've heard. Let me see. Let me play your. Yeah, go ahead.
3, 2.
It's
1,
like a
go.
reward.
Yeah, go ahead. That one. Yeah. Okay, I got you. It's like a reward.
That's a pretty big TikTok sound these days, or like just
Yeah.
intermittently.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It has that little pause and
and
that palpable, and then
yeah,
it's like a reward.
I would kind of compare it to the Mandalorian Werner Herzog saying, "I want to see the baby," or
Yeah, yeah.
sorry, I would like
Show
to
me.
see the baby.
I would like to see the baby. Yeah, yeah.
All right, so reward. I feel like reward, just conceptually, we think of that for like magic stuff in terms of just being like, yeah, I'm just going to give you this thing for jumping through the hoop. Your hoop is jumped. Your reward is here.
Okay. All right.
But that's like so broad, right?
Yeah, yeah. There are a lot of hoops in Magic cards. uh, in fact, I already have a built-in hoop on mine. If you were doing daybound, nightbound, it just make it nighttime. But yeah, you could do anything, right? You could do like, hey, cast 2 or more spells this turn, or hey, draw 2 or more cards this turn. Hey, yeah, whatever that is, that hoop is.
Does Scryfall have seek the keyword? It does have seek the keyword. I'm surprised.
Which is a digital only keyword, right?
Yeah. Do seek cards go by default to your hand?
I don't know. I haven't played any of the digital keyword stuff. I mean, we can look it up together.
It does go to default to your hand.
Okay. So does that mean you can say like seek into or seek to a zone or something? Seek into your graveyard or?
Weirdly, they don't do it like that. They do it like seek it and then put it on the new place.
Oh, I see.
But that means you can't seek hidden stuff. I was asking because like conceptually I'm wondering about like can you like seek a thing, exile it face down as a reward for doing a thing, but that doesn't really work. Let's see here. I'm imagining something where you like get one of several different things.
Sure. Choose your reward.
Or I was thinking like one of like several different random options, but I guess choose your reward too. Yeah, that could work okay.
Oh yeah, one of random options could be a thing too. Choose one at random. Dash. Bullet points. I think they have that. Let me see. Choose one at random. Yeah. Or Outlaw's Merriment and Cult of Skaro and Seek Bolas's Council. Ooh.
I don't think I've seen the Skaro one off the top of my head.
I have not either.
Cult of Skaro. Yeah, okay. trying to think about like something involving like exiling some number of cards and then picking one of them randomly, but I think that this might be not a fruitful avenue of pursuit. What about like I suppose I could do like an A and B thing with like cards that you get from exile that are prizes and you win a prize or something like that. I'm not sure that I like that either. I'm thinking like Pokemon prize cards almost.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you could exile cards face down. You could make a Pokemon reference straight up by exile 6. Start a sub game and then exile 6 cards face down. Whenever a creature
you control dies.
Something like something. You win the sub.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
life is doesn't matter there or whatever. I don't know. No, that's because you can't attack creatures directly unless that sounds like too many. Unless you make it a double fate. No. Okay. Start a sub game and then exile this card, then cast it, re-enter it, transform it, and it's an enchantment when you start the sub game, and then you go off of the rules in that as an enchantment. It changes the rules of the sub game to be like Pokemon. Boom. But no, that's a Pokemon direction, not necessarily a reward.
Yeah.
We're going too tangential here.
What is like a reward? I guess bounties, because that's from Django Unchained, and he's a bounty hunter. So, I guess bounty counters already exist, so you can't really ascribe a mechanical meaning to them. You can make a bounty token, though.
That's true. There's bounty tokens that already exist. That's true. So you can do, those wanted things, like in, you can do Wild West style.
Yeah.
Those wanted posters. $1 million bounty. Maybe you can get, create. Can you make a card that says create 1 million gold tokens? That's probably too much. Create 10 gold tokens.
How would you say the controller of whatever killed it? The controller of the source that destroyed or dealt lethal damage to it?
The controller of whoever killed it. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sounds like you already had an idea.
If you use with in reminder text with like the quotes around it, that implies more rules precision, right?
Sorry, with? Say that again.
If you put quotes around something in reminder text, that implies more rules precision, right? So you can't do like with your creatures can help you cast the spell or whatever.
Oh.
You can't do the.
Mm, only you have leniency. I think you can have leniency only if you don't introduce ambiguity.
Does whoever killed it introduce ambiguity?
Let's see. Let me take a look here. What you're typing exactly? If it's an enchantment token with, whenever the named creature dies, the controller of whoever.
Oh, sorry, of whatever killed it. Yeah, not whoever.
Oh, okay.
Controller of whatever killed it draws a card.
Whenever the named creature dies. Oh, create a wanted token naming card name. Oh, okay, I see. It's an enchantment token with whenever the named naming card. Create a naming card. Okay, I see. So is there a is okay? So who whatever can you create a wanted? Do you want to be able to create wanted tokens on, like, put it onto others? Like, say you have a sorcery or an enchantment that creates wanted tokens. Do you want to do that? Or
Yeah,
is
you
it?
might like create wanted tokens with like you have a creature that when it comes in, you create a wanted token naming um some other creature of theirs or a planeswalker of theirs or something like that.
Okay.
So the idea is there's like a bunch of bounties up, but you might also have things that like give you a bonus for
Yeah,
having
yeah, yeah, yeah.
bounties.
Okay, okay. And this works
Or
because you
that
know it's a creature already on the battlefield. So you might have a sorcery that says choose a creature, then create a wanted token. I see, I see. That's good, that's good. Okay. So you naming that, and then the wanted thing would be whenever the named creature dies, the controller. Okay, its controller. Oh, I see, I see, I see. The source. You want to say maybe the source, whatever caused. Yeah, you're right. This is tough. I see, I see. Um, the controller of the source that caused it to die. Yeah, I think this is the land continues to burn situation. Or yeah, the controller of whatever killed it draws a card. I like it. Sure. Yeah, you can put all of that complexity on in the comprehensive rules.
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's like it'll be in the comprehensive rules. They'll say wanted token, and then it'll say all sorts of stuff in under it.
Um I guess it gets kind of weird with sacrifice, but like I'd rather be rules and
Mm.
precise than like exhaustively try and explain all the edge cases. But I think like colloquially we agree that if I get you with an edict effect and you choose to sacrifice the goblin wrestler, no, that's you. You get to draw the card,
Yeah, yeah, you can kill
right?
your own.
Yeah, you chose to kill your own guy. There was only
Yeah,
one option in this hypothetical.
I
You
think
could
you
kill
could.
your
Yeah,
goblin wrestler or your goblin wrestler, but you
yeah,
chose to do it, and you control you.
yeah.
um, I think this is intrinsically amusing without like trying to look too deeply into it. I'm gonna see if I can find a goblin cowboy.
Now, if you want to look for power level wise, 2/2 for 1 red and a haste. I know that's a downside to reward a draw card, but it is it's pretty intense of a power level. It feels like
Yeah,
it's harder for the opponent to take advantage of the upside that they might get. I guess if they
I
play a
mean,
creature, as soon as they play a creature in block, they get to get a card. I guess they might kill it.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a like you like once this is outmoded, then you can't really chump attack in with it unless it's like literally the last turn. Um, and it's like there's a question as to whether it's probably slightly worse than Goblin Guide.
Mm.
I have no idea if this is AI or not, so I'm gonna make sure I click the button and then go and see. I guess it was no, it's still there. Cool. Um, Yeah, so it's like the idea is you want to have a downside like that where it like as red deck wins, you have the path towards maybe invalidating that downside. That's always been like a little bit of the goal with those like super aggressive red deck win cards is you're trying to like really just pop off before they get you with the like kind of crippling downside. Like going back as far as like Jackal Pop even.
Yeah, yeah.
And don't get me wrong,
I just don't think if I'm wondering if it's harsh enough. But that's okay. I don't mind. If
yeah,
you just add a one in a red, add a one in a red if you need to, if I need to satisfy myself, and I still love what you've done with reward here.
Yeah. Like maybe you do like one in a red for a 3/3 haste or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, or get that toughness down. If you would prefer it to outlive though some 1/1s, then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I want it to be like you need to block it with like a real creature, so they're likely to be able to crack in for like 4, because that tends to be the benchmark on stuff. Is like if you can hit with a Goblin Guide twice, then it's done more than its fair share. But yeah, we can go to your final rectangle if you'd like.
Sure. Final rectangle. That's good. Okay, so let's switch over to mine. Share screen. Yes. Traditionally, I like making the final card some kind of special thing. And so in this case, what's special here is we're switching streams back and forth. So now I've made Brad bound and Marcus bound. So
sweet.
if Brad bound happens is if Marcus's screen displays on screen, transform this, and then of course it's the opposite. So sorry I made you nighttime, but that's the way.
It's all right. I've tended to be more of a nighttime guy in general.
So if anyone has, and also for reward, I guess here is if I don't know if there's still active peeps watching here, but if anyone just has any creature types that you would like to assign for the wear part, or in chat, not you, Marcus, but we can design the rest of this. Then we can go and just go with whatever is being suggested. So this is I would put Acorn stamp, but I don't think I've got the Acorn stamp magic set editor thing. So it's just silver bordered here. I guess that kind of matches with the My Little Ponies thing that they decided to do, is only go with silver bordered as well. Is that what they did?
I thought that was for continuity with the My Little Pony cards previously.
Yeah, because they cared about silver bordered or continuity. Yeah, okay, gotcha. So yeah, all right. So I don't know, how do you do reward here? If you can keep going back and forth, there might be a good thing about going back and forth a number of times. Maybe if you've gone back and forth 31 times or something to act as day 31 reward. Let's see.
That's interesting.
Whenever this creature transforms into card name, if it's the 31st time this creature has transformed, you win the game. And that could be the same on the other side. Or maybe you you lose the game.
Oh, so you need to have it start on the night side then.
Oh, yeah, because if it goes back and forth on a set number of times,
Yeah, because it goes
you don't
one,
want to do
two,
that
three,
then. You want to
four.
go and say you win the game as well. But something even different between the two for what they do.
Mm. So is the idea that the Brad bound side is a Brad creature and the Marcus bound side is a Marcus creature because it's Marcus bound when Brad's screen's displaying and
If
vice
we make
versa?
this us, then it's different. Then it becomes like you can just do the Richard Garfield thing, right? You can do human designer, right?
Hmm.
But I did kind of throw it to chat to be like to decide what typings it could be. Although it doesn't, if there's no chat, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's finish it. I know we're already in not serious design card territory with the reward. So let's go ahead and just do human designer. Legendary creature, human designer. In that case, then it would be Marcus.
Where Marcus? Marcus, where Marcus?
Um, okay. All right. And then what is the difference between both of us?
I was thinking we could do just what our Moxtober themes were. So,
Oh yeah.
You could just have like,
Yeah. Let's see. Double-faced creature spells. Double-faced creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. There you go. It's silver bordered, so we can say stuff that don't actually work.
I was thinking,
oh, cost 1 less would be a different color. Maybe.
I was thinking for my side, it could be, creatures you control get +1/+1 for each keyword not printed on a black border magic card they have.
Yeah, sure. Creatures you control give +1/+1 for each keyword they have that isn't printed in black border. Is that something like that?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Or that hasn't been printed on a black border magic card
there you go.
specifically. That way, like a Moxtober design works.
Black bordered card. Okay, there you go. Cool. +1/+1 for each keyword. So is that like a green thing? Oops.
I suppose, yeah. Because like it's kind of the opposite of those etchings from Planar Chaos that make vanilla creatures buff.
I guess making creature spells cost cheaper is creature spells is a green thing as well.
Yeah, Duskwatch Recruiter does that.
Oh, okay, great. Then
Or
I guess
the backside of Duskwatch Recruiter.
Yeah. I guess we could do just a cheap thing. There you go.
Both sides can be 2/2s because mine will implicitly get a +1/+1 for Marcus bound.
Oh, yeah. Wow. There you go. Although I guess, yeah, sure. Why not? It's mythic. All right. That's it. We can cut back to you if you want to share your screen again for something.
No, I think I'm all right. I'm getting a little detected here. This was a very good time, though.
Yeah, thanks for co-streaming with designing with me.
Thank you for having me.
That's the end of Moxtober for both of us at the same time, huh?
I mean, I
Yeah.
have like a little bit of backlog to do, but I'm probably just gonna do that like off stream, just a
Oh, wait, you got
smidge
some
of
more
random
cards
stuff
to
in the
do, huh?
middle. Yeah, like 5,
Yeah.
something like that.
But you don't
It's
have
not a
that
big
thing
deal.
where, like, I tried to live stream every card I've done, whereas you've designed some cards off stream, so it's cool. You're not being inconsistent.
Yeah. And if I was being inconsistent, I feel like with Moxtober, giving oneself a little bit of permissiveness to be inconsistent is
Hmm.
sometimes good for burnout avoidance because I know like some of the streaming stuff can get like really consumptive. Like I know Caillou's stuff can get really hard
Hmm.
because he's trying to do like super exhaustive coverage of things, and that can
Yeah.
be a whole lot.
All right. So I guess that's it. Are you ready to end this?
Yep, I'm gonna end my end of the stream here shortly.
Oh, okay. See you later, everybody,
Uh,
from Marcus's stream.
all right,
Actually, I'm waving,
y'all have
but
a great
Marcus's
evening.
stream doesn't have my camera, so I'm describing it for y'all. But for those in my stream, you can still see me, but still hear Marcus, I think. But yeah, I'll end it as well. But I guess I'll just say, the usual. I have other streams besides Magic. Magic designs that I do. We've got Pokemon Crystal Hardcore Nuzlocke still to continue in November. We've got Earth, Wind, and Fire only playthrough of Quest 64 to continue as well. We have a redeem from T-Top Strav, redeemed of the Dragon Balls collected, made a wish on playing Zelda Oracle of Ages. We'll start that at some point in November. And that's it for we've already played a bunch of spooky games. We did 13 of them this month. Spooky number to stop on. So tomorrow, Halloween time, I won't do a Halloween stream. Although a friend of the podcast, not podcast. I'm thinking Beacon of Creation is a podcast that is associated with the Beacon of Creation Discord and community, and you can find Marcus there as well. But a friend of the Bradley Roast stream, I guess, there's a Halloween party going on there for Ultramelon. I guess I can shout them out here if you want to go check them out tomorrow. Since I won't be streaming, that's at least one. If you want to catch something, you can catch them tomorrow. They'll be doing playing Resident Evil 2. They'll be wearing costumes. They'll be doing a drinking game thing. Although you don't have to drink yourself if you're not a drinker as well. And yeah, that's it. That's it for me. Marcus, feel free if you'd like to share how if you would like any people watching my stream to find you. Oh yeah, let's shout you out. Here we go.
Find
Everyone.
me at Twitter on @Mark_confidant. I'm also, gradually transitioning to Threads and Blue Sky and things like that as Twitter slowly continues its shambolic dissolution. I am a relatively regular contributor on the Beacon of Creation podcast, and honestly, if you like magic design stuff, just check that out. It's pretty wonderful. Yeah, don't really have a whole lot in the way of pluggables, but just want to say y'all have a great rest of your evening and keep on keeping on.
Click on that link in the shout out in the chat for Mark Confidant. You can follow Mark Confidant's channel there as well here on Twitch on my end for all of you rabble rousers on my end. Okay, all right, take care everybody. I'll be closing down my stream right now. Yeah, I'll see you later till next time.